LoveLore Library. Chapter 328. John Clark. Feng Xibiao's face changed. You know him too? Yes, he is dead. Ho Xinhan said with a smile. How did he die? Feng Xibiao suddenly realized that things weren't good. He was killed by me. Ho Xinhan said indifferently. You, liar. Feng Xibiao hesitated, but he still said calmly. John Clark was actually a Vietnamese. He just took on a Western name. However, there were very few people who fought in the underground boxing in the country who didn't know his name because this person was known as the Emperor of the underground boxing world. Of course, Feng Xibiao's title as the King of Fighters was only given by himself, and it was only limited to the underground boxing arena in City V. But John Clark was different. He was the real underground boxing emperor. He fought in many underground boxing arenas in Asia, but there was no record of failure. This was fundamentally different from Feng Xibiao, who was limited to a city. But such a person actually disappeared inexplicably a year ago. There was no news about him in the entire underground boxing world. Liar. Hee, is John Clark very powerful? Ho Xinhan sneered. It's just that he was too unbearable. I only kicked him 96 times, and he died. How did you meet him? Feng Xibiao asked with some panic. Do you want to know? I actually have no grievances with him. It's just that he snatched a woman from my dead comrade's younger brother in a bar. He kicked the balls of my comrade's younger brother. Ho Xinhan sighed. I swore to my comrade before he died that I would protect his younger brother, but So, I did the same and kicked the scumbag's balls. I kicked a total of 96 times. Finally, I kicked his intestines out. Then, he died. Feng Xibiao looked at the person in front of him and took a deep breath. Yes, he already believed Ho Xinhan's words. Because when Ho Xinhan appeared, Feng Xibiao felt the murderous aura from Ho Xinhan. This kind of aura could only be felt by people who had struggled on the verge of death. Moreover, Ho Xinhan's movements had the aura of a soldier, which made Feng Xibiao have some speculations. What is the identity of this person? Is he from the army? Or were they mercenaries? However, none of that mattered anymore. After Feng Xibiao heard that John Clark was killed by this person in front of him, he became a little timid. John Clark had always been the idol of those who fought in the underground, but now. However, seeing his cousin Fei Biao's eager gaze, Feng Xibiao clenched his teeth and said, Don't say so much. Let's see who's the real deal in the arena. In fact, the result of the game was obvious. Ho Xinhan had already destroyed Feng Xibiao's line of defense psychologically. Feng Xibiao had an instinctive defense against Ho Xinhan, so Feng Xibiao began to be restrained in the fight. He couldn't use his full strength. When Ho Xinhan's kick came, Feng Xibiao unconsciously dodged to the back. In order to avoid Ho Xinhan's attack, he didn't dare to face Ho Xinhan head-on. Therefore, he was destined to fail. With Ho Xinhan's kick, Feng Xibiao's body fell heavily outside the arena. He didn't get up for a long time. At the end of the game, Ho Xinhan won. Without any suspense, Yu Xiangde and Fei Biao were both dumbfounded. They didn't expect that the cousin they had placed so much hope on would be finished like this. But the facts were in front of them. They had to believe it. Yu Xiangde really wanted to go back on his words, but Sun Santai was watching from above. Did he dare to go back on his words? Yu Xiangde and Fei Biao could only leave with their injured cousin. Ho Xinhan didn't expect to win so easily. Isn't this Feng Xibiao's psychological quality too bad? I just told him a story, and he was so scared. It was true that he killed John Clark, but he killed him together with others. It was precisely because of this incident that Ho Xinhan was expelled from the army. Bao Sanli didn't expect it until his underlings kept cheering. He realized that from now on, he was the underworld boss of Songjiang City. However, this boss was only in name because there was still a mysterious boss behind him. When Ho Jinhan reported this result to Yang Ming just faintly appreciated a few words. He didn't know why, but Yang Ming didn't have much joy. Perhaps, this wasn't what he wanted in the end. Mastering Songjiang's underworld resources was just to add a bargaining chip for his future success. Yang Ming had never thought about being an underworld godfather. Now, Songjiang's underworld was peaceful, so he could rest assured that Ho Jinhan would take care of it. Ho Jinhan was a little surprised. However, the more Yang Ming was like this, the more Ho Jinhan felt that he was unfathomable. A college student with a shocking idea and a very calm performance. Ho Jinhan had always been unable to see through Yang Ming. This boss is really too mysterious. Yang Ming, the behind-the-scenes boss, sat in the classroom and listened to the class in boredom. On the other side, his two underlings, Ho Jinhan and Bao Sanli, were celebrating. Without a strong enemy like Yu Xiangde, Songjiang's underworld was now harmonious. However, Ho Jinhan directly listed some rules for Bao Sanli. For example, he couldn't take drugs, couldn't bully ordinary people, and so on. Moreover, he could use his own power to open some bars and other shops. Bao Sanli agreed to them one by one. He couldn't disagree. Bao Sanli was very clear that this nominal second-in-command was the real boss spokesperson. He couldn't have the slightest violation. As for the extent of the boss's power, Bao Sanli didn't know. However, just from the fact that the boss could drive the Four Snakes gang out of Songjiang in one day, the boss's power was definitely not small. Moreover, he had seen Ho Jinhan's skill today. It seemed that the boss's underlings were really crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Bao Sanli felt that he had some sense of crisis. If I don't have any ability, will I be abandoned by the boss? Bao Sanli was very happy today. Ho Jinhan was also generous. He gave each of his underlings a red packet of 200 yuan to let them have fun. Brother Kai, didn't you take a fancy to the chick in my girlfriend's dormitory? Today, I asked my girlfriend to ask her out. A little punk under Bao Sanli said to another little punk next to him. Really? By hi, then let's go. The person called Brother Kai said happily. This person was Wu Xinkai, a small leader. Okay, Brother Kai. After the matter is done, don't forget your brother, said Bai Hai. Don't worry. I will definitely tell Brother Bao to let you take care of a place independently, just like me. Wu Xinkai promised with his mouth full of promises. Thank you, Brother Kai. Bai Hai didn't know that Wu Xinkai was lying to him. Bai Hai's girlfriend was Gu Xinyao, who was in the same dormitory as Lin Jiyun. The girl that Wu Xinkai liked was naturally Lin Jiyun. Lin Jiyun, go out with me tonight. Gu Xinyao instructed. What are we going to do? Lin Jiyun asked curiously. Why are you asking so much? Just go with me. You will know when we arrive. Gu Xinyao was used to ordering Lin Jiyun around. When she heard Lin Jiyun's question, she said with some dissatisfaction. Oh. Lin Jiyun nodded after listening. But I have a tutoring at 7:00 in the evening. Is there enough time? Tutoring. How much money is it? Just reject it. Gu Xinyao said directly. How can that be? It's not a matter of money. I have already promised the other party. Lin Jiyun explained. Oh, so that's the case. It's fine. It's almost done at 7:00. Gu Xinyao said perfunctorily. Not long after, Gu Xinyao received a phone call and then said to Lin Jiyun, let's go. Go out with me. Lin Jiyun thought that Gu Xinyao wanted her to accompany her to buy something. She didn't think much about it and went out with her. Until the taxi stopped at the door of a bar, Lin Jiyun had some doubts. Gu Xinyao, where are you taking me? Lin Jiyun asked with some hesitation. A bar. You haven't been here before, right? Let's go. I will take you to see it. As Gu Xinyao said this, she took Lin Jiyun's hand and walked into the bar. Forget it. I'm not going. Although Lin Jiyun was a good person, she wasn't the kind of girl who had no social experience. The previous incident with Yang Ming had taught Lin Jiyun a lesson. She wouldn't go to a messy place so easily. We are already here. Let's go. Seeing that Lin Jiyun flinched, Gu Xinyao didn't want to do it. She promised her boyfriend that she would bring Lin Jiyun along. Chapter 329. Lin Jiyun was stubborn, so she had to say, then let's sit for a while. I have something to do at 7:00. I have to go back at 6:30. No problem. Gu Xinyao didn't care what Lin Jiyun said at all. She tricked her into the bar first. Lin Jiyun reluctantly entered the bar with Gu Xinyao. To be honest, this was the first time Lin Jiyun came to such a place. Lin Jiyun was very unfamiliar with the bar. She only heard about it from her classmates sometimes. However, she also knew that there were many hooligans in this place. Gu Xinyao, here. Bai Hai shouted. Hubby. Gu Xinyao didn't have the slightest sense of shame as she shouted in public. Lin Jiyun, who was next to her, blushed. Isn't this Gu Xinyao a bit too bold? Gu Xinyao took Lin Jiyun and walked quickly to Bai Hai. Lin Jiyun, we are in the same dormitory. Gu Xinyao said to Bai Hai and another man next to him. Bai Hai's eyes lit up. TSK, this chick is really beautiful. She is much better than Gu Xinyao. If Gu Xinyao wasn't rich and could give him money to spend, Bai Hai would have changed to a prettier one. However, this chick in front of him was chosen by Brother Kai. Bai Hai didn't dare to have any thoughts. Who asked him to work under Brother Kai? This Didi bar was under Brother Kai's protection. He was also here to look after the bar. Brother Kai could be said to have hundreds of people responding to his call. The situation was so awesome. Bai Hai had long wanted to take care of a place by himself, but he didn't have a chance. He wanted to use Lin Jiyun's matter to get Brother Kai's connections and let him find a way to get a place for himself. In fact, Bai Hai really overestimated Brother Kai's ability. Sending someone to look after the bar was something he could say. That was arranged by Bao Sonli and Ho Jinhan. What could Wu Xinkai say? Lin Jiyun, let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend, Bai Hai. Beside him is Wu Xinkai, Brother Kai, the boss of this bar. Gu Xinyao said proudly. Hello. Lin Jiyun was not used to the atmosphere here. Sister Lin, why are you standing? Sit down. Wu Xinkai looked at Lin Jiyun like a pig. This is a pure student, and she is so beautiful. She is much better than those fake students in the bar. Lin Jiyun also knew that she couldn't just stand there, so she nodded and sat down. However, he felt as if he was sitting on pins and needles. He didn't dare to sit down and was extremely cautious. He didn't dare to move. Don't be nervous. Brother Kai is a good person. Bai Hai began to praise Wu Xinkai. Yeah, don't be nervous. I have the final say in this bar. No one dares to do anything to you. Wu Xinkai grinned. Lin Jiyun didn't know what to say. She just wanted to find a reason to leave here quickly. Lin Jiyun, Brother Kai is talking to you. Why don't you say anything? Gu Xinyao was used to scolding Lin Jiyun. Seeing that Lin Jiyun didn't speak, she was a little upset. Fuck, how can you talk to your big brother's woman like that? Bai Hai's face sank as he scolded, bitch, you don't have the right to speak here. Sorry. Brother Hai. Unexpectedly, Gu Xinyao became surprisingly well-behaved after being scolded by Bai Hai. Okay, Bai Hai, we are all civilized people. How can we scold people? Wu Xinkai waved his hand and said with a sanctimonious look. Lin Jiyun, Brother Kai, is young and promising. He is also handsome. What do you think? Gu Xinyao wasn't angry with Bai Hai at all, but asked with a smile. Ah. Lin Jiyun couldn't cope with it. These three people were obviously talking about her. The one called Wu Xinkai, he must have bad intentions towards her. This made Lin Jiyun a little embarrassed. She wanted to get up and leave, but she felt that it was impolite. Moreover, the key question was, could she leave? Listening to Gu Xinyao's meaning, this Wu Xinkai seemed to be a very powerful gang leader in the bar. Then, it's okay. There's no hurry. Wu Xinkai pretended to be a good person and smiled as he waved his hand. Then, he said to the waiter, give me a few bottles of Corona. Wu Xinkai ordered. The waiter in the bar didn't dare to neglect. After a while, the Corona beer was served. I don't drink. Seeing that it was beer, Lin Jiyun quickly waved her hand and refused. It doesn't matter if you drink a little. Who doesn't drink now? Wu Xinkai smiled and handed a bottle to Lin Jiyun. Yeah, why don't you thank Brother Kai? Gu Xinyao said. Thank you, Brother Kai. Lin Jiyun bit her lip and said very reluctantly. Ha, come. Everyone, cheers. Wu Xinkai smiled and raised the bottle in his hand. I'm sorry. I still have a tutoring at night. You guys can drink. I'm leaving first. Lin Jiyun said as she got up. Leaving? You're leaving so early. Wu Xinkai's face suddenly showed a displeased look. I really have to go. It's too late. Let's talk about it next time. Lin Jiyun said. What tutoring? Can't you just reject it? Come, sit here. Wu Xinkai's voice became fierce. What are you doing, Lin Jiyun? How dare you not listen to Brother Kai? Gu Xinyao pulled Lin Jiyun back. Let me tell you. Brother Kai is in the underworld. If you don't listen to him, you'll be in trouble. Gu Xinyao, didn't you say that you can let me go before 7 o'clock? Lin Jiyun frowned and asked. Isn't it still early? Well, don't make Brother Kai unhappy. Gu Xinyao said impatiently. Brother Kai, I really have something to do today. How about we drink next time? Lin Jiyun asked while biting her teeth. Wu Xinkai's voice suddenly increased by 180 degrees. In the bar, 4 or 5 young men suddenly surrounded them. Brother Kai, what's going on? Asked one of the young men. Nothing. A friend of mine wants to leave. I want to keep her. Did you see it? Wu Xinkai said gloomily. Oh, we saw it. Brother Kai, don't worry. We won't let her go. If she wants to leave, we will persuade her to come back. The young man said. Lin Jiyun was secretly anxious. It seems that I've boarded a pirate ship today. Yang Ming was right. I'm too kind. I always think of others too well. Gu Xinyao didn't have any good intentions from the beginning to the end. This time, it seemed that she had planned it in advance. She tricked me to come here and introduced me to Brother Kai. Lin Jiyun certainly knew what Brother Kai meant to her. Lin Jiyun was just kind, but she wasn't stupid. On the contrary, she was very smart. Lin Jiyun quickly figured out the cause and effect of the matter. But what should I do now? This bar seems to be full of Wu Xinkai's people. It's impossible for me to run out. What other good ideas do I have? Lin Jiyun was very anxious. She had to think of a good idea. What these little punks could do, Lin Jiyun was very clear. Although she didn't have a real experience, there were always stories of little punks raping girls on TV. So, Lin Jiyun was very scared. She didn't want to stay here for even a minute. What to do? What to do? Just as Lin Jiyun was at a loss, she suddenly thought of a person. Maybe he can help me. Every time she was in trouble, he would always appear by her side. Although the previous few times were coincidences, Lin Jiyun was a more rational girl. She didn't put her hopes on luck. However, the smart Lin Jiyun quickly thought of a good idea. Lin Jiyun pretended to be very helpless and said, "Well, I won't go to the tutoring today." Yeah. It's just a tutoring. What's the difference if you don't do it? Wu Xinkai heard it and thought that Lin Jiyun compromised. He said happily, "Come, let's drink." Wait a minute, Brother Kai. I will go to the bar to make a call and tell the family that I'm tutoring. Otherwise, they will be anxious. Lin Jiyun said. I have a cell phone here. You can make the call here. Gu Xinyao said. No, it's too noisy here. Let's go to the bar. It's quieter there. Lin Jiyun said as she stood up. Watch her from behind. Don't let this chick run away. Wu Xinkai said. Gu Xinyao immediately stood up and followed Lin Jiyun from a distance. At the bar, Lin Jiyun quickly picked up the phone and dialed Yang Ming's cell phone number. She prayed in her heart that he wouldn't turn off his phone. But fortunately, Yang Ming generally didn't have the habit of turning off his phone. The call was quickly connected. Hello, Yang Ming. Lin Jiyun asked quickly. I am. Are you Lin Jiyun? Yang Ming was already very familiar with this voice. Did you come to Didi Bar? I was entangled by a few punks. I can't leave. Lin Jiyun said in a hurry. Chapter 330. Yang Ming was still sleeping soundly in the classroom. When he heard that Lin Jiyun was in danger, he immediately woke up. He immediately said, You wait. I'll be right there. Yang Ming didn't care about the class. He stood up and walked to the front of the classroom. Zhou Jiejia thought that Yang Ming was sleeping soundly. She quickly shouted, Yang Ming, what are you doing? The class isn't over yet. I have something to do. Yang Ming quickly replied and then walked in the direction of the podium. Student Yang Ming, what's the matter? This class happened to be Teacher Wang's class. He was still very polite to Yang Ming. Teacher Wang, I have something to do at home. I have to go first. Is that okay? Asked Yang Ming. Oh, so that's the case. Since you have something to do at home, hurry up and get up. If you have any missed class, just look for me directly. Teacher Wang nodded and agreed. In fact, he saw that Yang Ming was sleeping before, but because Yang Ming helped him, he turned a blind eye to Yang Ming. At this time, he was just being polite. Thank you, Teacher Wang. Yang Ming nodded gratefully and then walked quickly to the door. Yang Ming and Teacher Wang's voice wasn't loud. The students in the classroom didn't hear it clearly. Sun Jiwei only heard the sentence, I have something to do, that Yang Ming said to Zhou Jiejia. When he saw him walking out of the classroom, he was immediately unwilling. He felt that he needed to exercise the responsibility of the class monitor, so he shouted, Yang Ming, where are you going? You are in class. How dare you just go out? Yang Ming didn't even bother with him. Now, Yang Ming wasn't afraid of Sun Jiwei. Although Tian Donghua said that Sun Jiwei's family had a strong background in Donghai City, this wasn't Donghai. It was Songjiang. After today, there weren't many people who dared to touch Yang Ming in Songjiang. Of course, this was the ideal result. In fact, Yang Ming's indirect control of Songjiang's underworld was a secret. No one knew except for Ho Jinhan. However, Yang Ming was now confident that no matter how powerful Sun Jiwei's family was, he couldn't do anything in Songjiang City. In fact, Sun Jiwei had always played those childish tricks with Yang Ming. Something like going to the tutor to trick Yang Ming and arranging a relatively trashy school job for Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't care about these at all. He couldn't possibly lower himself to the same level as a child, right? Sun Jiwei saw that Yang Ming didn't even look at him. He was furious as if his authority was challenged. He glared at Teacher Wang in front of him and said, "Teacher Wang, this isn't the first time that Yang Ming skipped class for no reason. I ask you to cancel his final exam qualification." Teacher Wang glanced at Sun Jiwei. "Who are you? Do you think you can just cancel it just because you say so? Yang Ming's sister is my immediate superior. Besides, he didn't skip class for no reason." However, considering that Sun Jiwei was still the class monitor, Teacher Wang had to answer impatiently, "Yang Ming has something to do with his family. He told me before." "Okay, if there's nothing else, let's continue the class." Seeing that Teacher Wang obviously didn't intend to pursue Yang Ming, Sun Jiwei had to sit down. However, many people in the class had already regarded him as an idiot. Facing this strange gaze, Sun Jiwei was a bit ruthless. "Yang Ming, you're good. Just go against me. Sooner or later, I will let you know who is the best person in this class." In fact, Yang Ming and Sun Jiwei didn't have any deep hatred, and there was no conflict of interest. It was just that when Sun Jiwei was running for class monitor, Yang Ming didn't give him face. However, it was precisely because of this that Sun Jiwei, who had been in a superior situation since childhood, was extremely angry. Yes, he was the young master of the Sun family. Since childhood, others had fawned over him. Who dared to disobey him? Now, Yang Ming actually didn't give him any face. How could Sun Jiwei not be angry? Sometimes, fighting for a reputation was more important than anything, especially for a young master like Sun Jiwei. His face was more important than anything else. "Jiwei, there's no need to argue with this kind of person." Yu Tiance also saw that Sun Jiwei's expression wasn't good. "Tiance, you didn't see that kid. He's so badass. He's always like that. I'm annoyed just by looking at him." Sun Jiwei said angrily. "Jiwei, you're also an adult. There will be more people who are not pleasing to your eyes in the future. You can't be angry with everyone, right?" Yu Tiance shook his head. He was Sun Jiwei's cousin, but Sun Jiwei had never called him brother. However, Yu Tiance wasn't a narrow-minded person, so he didn't care about this. If he's not pleasing to my eyes, I will make him pleasing to my eyes. Tiance, come with me to the tutor's office to look for this kid's file. I want to see what he has." Sun Jiwei said fiercely. "AI." Yu Tiance sighed, but he couldn't help it. Once Sun Jiwei was capricious, even 10 cows couldn't pull him back. Yang Ming went out of the classroom and went straight to the bicycle shed. He didn't have time to throw away the big boat scooter that he stole. Yang Ming directly got on the scooter and rushed to the school gate with full horsepower. Yang Ming had heard of Didi Bar before. It was a famous bar near Red Flag High School. Yang Ming played there a few times when he was in junior high school, so his impression of it was still quite deep. He just didn't know why Lin Jiyun went to a place like a bar. For Lin Jiyun's matter, Yang Ming was very concerned. Because from a certain point of view, the fate of this girl was already closely related to him. Yang Ming had already regarded Lin Jiyun as his woman from the bottom of his heart. Therefore, for Yang Ming, whether it was the little punk in the bar or other people, it was fine to bully others. It had nothing to do with him, but bullying Lin Jiyun was unacceptable. Yang Ming felt that Lin Jiyun was already pitiful enough. Therefore, if they dared to bully Lin Jiyun, Yang Ming would never forgive them. Because of this, when Yang Ming heard that Lin Jiyun was in danger, he drove the scooter like a rocket. The scooter in front stopped by the side. Suddenly, the sound of a police siren came from behind Yang Ming. Yang Ming frowned and looked back. A police patrol car was following behind him not far away with the siren. The person who shouted at him was obviously the person in the car. It was just a woman's voice. However, Yang Ming didn't care so much. He stole the scooter. How could she catch him? Yang Ming was now eager to save people, so he once again rushed forward with full horsepower. The scooter in front, I'm warning you to stop quickly. Quickly stop by the side. The police car behind him shouted again. Yang Ming didn't care about her. The police car behind him was the most ordinary minivan. Yang Ming didn't believe that it could catch up with him. This is the last warning. If you don't stop, I will shoot. The woman in the police car warned. Damn. It can't be, right? I'm just riding a scooter on the road. You actually want to shoot? Yang Ming was shocked. Could it be an alarmist? Pa, the sound of a bullet flying through the air was heard. Creak, Yang Ming quickly stopped the scooter. Damn, she really dared to shoot. Yang Ming was helpless. Even if he was in a hurry, he couldn't joke with his life. If his life was gone, who was he going to save? With another creak, the police car behind also came to a stop in front of the motorcycle. Voila, the door opened. A policewoman in plain clothes jumped out from the passenger seat. She was holding a pistol in her hand. The black muzzle was pointed at Yang Ming. Raise your hands. Yang Ming quickly raised his hands. However, when he saw the policewoman, he couldn't help but be stunned. Xia Shui. Yang Ming. Xia Shui was also stunned. She immediately understood that she must have caught the wrong person. Although this Yang Ming was a bit hateful, he definitely wasn't an evil person. Moreover, his relationship with Captain Chen wasn't ordinary. It was impossible for him to do something like snatching a bag on a scooter. Police Officer Xia, can you put down the pistol first? Yang Ming looked at the gun in her hand and was a little scared. As a matter of fact, Xia Shui and I had a misunderstanding. If this lady's temper flared up, wouldn't I be unlucky immediately? No. Xia Shui immediately remembered the scene where she was pushed down by Yang Ming in the corridor last time. She couldn't help but blush. She thought to herself, you little brat, aren't you very good? You finally fell into my hands, right? Moreover, I'm performing official duties now. It's not considered taking revenge, right? Although she also felt that Yang Ming couldn't be part of the scooter gang, you are also a suspect, right? Who asked you to ride so fast? Why didn't you stop when I asked you to? I suspect that you are a suspect in the recent scooter gang. You must go back to the police station with me for investigation. Xia Shui said seriously, get in the car. Chapter 331. What? Motorcycle robbery gang. Yang Ming was somewhat inexplicable. Miss Xia. Did you make a mistake? What nonsense are you talking about? What does that gang have to do with me? According to the reports from the public, the members of the criminal gang drive scooters in the downtown area of the city. They specifically rob pedestrians on the road. And your characteristics are just right. Xia Shui said with conviction. I'm going to faint. Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded. I'm riding a scooter, so I'm a member of the criminal gang. Your imagination is really rich. I have reason to doubt you. Xia Shui said. Okay, didn't you say that I'm a member of the motorcycle robbery gang? Then you take a look. Do I have anything on me that I robbed? Yang Ming stretched out his arms and then turned around twice. You don't have anything now. Who knows if you are going to rob later? Xia Shui said without mercy. I really don't understand. Why did the team send you out to perform the task? Yang Ming rolled his eyes. Listening to Yang Ming, Xia Shui's heart was even more annoyed. Yes, Yang Ming pointed out her weakness. Xia Shui was the only girl in the criminal investigation team, so the team didn't let Xia Shui participate in the murder cases. Only some ordinary cases were assigned to Xia Shui. For example, they received a report that there was a gang of robbers riding scooters in the city at the end of the year. Chen Fei handed this matter to Xia Shui. Xia Shui was already suffocating enough. She was also a criminal police officer with dreams. She also dreamed of one day solving a bizarre case like the policewoman in the TV show, Serious Crime Unit 6. But Chen Fei didn't give her a chance at all. He always put her in charge of these small cases. Although there was no distinction between high and low jobs, Xia Shui was still somewhat unbalanced. She drove the police car around the city with the driver in the police station for 3 days, but they didn't see a single criminal. It made Xia Shui very bored. Today, she finally got to vent her anger on Yang Ming. How could she let it go? In fact, Xia Shui also knew that Captain Qin didn't let a girl like her come into contact with those rotten corpses and eerie bones. It was also a kind of care for her. However, Hua Mulan had been on the battlefield since ancient times. Who said that women were inferior to men? Hurry up and get in the car. Whether you are innocent or not, we will know after an investigation. Who knows if you are going to commit a robbery? Xia Shui glared at Yang Ming and said. Then you might as well capture everyone on the streets, Yang Ming said indifferently. Why? Xia Shui was stunned. You said that I'm a robber because I'm riding a motorcycle. Then those men all have tools to commit rape. Are you going to catch them too? Yang Ming sneered. What about the woman? Xia Shui continued to be stunned and asked. A woman. Women can engage in prostitution. You should also arrest them. Yang Ming rolled his eyes at her. Poochie. The driver of the police car couldn't help but laugh out loud. Xia Shui immediately turned around and glared at him. The driver forcibly held back his laughter and looked straight ahead with a serious expression. Yang Ming, don't talk nonsense with me. Hurry up and get in the car. If not, I won't be polite anymore. Xia Shui was so angry that her teeth were itching. This guy really knows how to talk nonsense. Well, since you want to pester me, that's fine. I have something to do now. After I finish my business, I will go back to the police station to find you. How about that? Yang Ming looked at the time and didn't want to continue wasting time with Xia Shui. It seemed that Xia Shui wouldn't let him go easily today. Something. Whatever it is, wait until you are out of the police station. Go back with me first. Xia Shui naturally wouldn't let Yang Ming go so easily. Miss. Can you stop messing around? I really have something to do. Yang Ming was really annoyed. You are a woman. I won't argue with you, but you can't be endless. I'm messing around. What am I messing around with? I'm performing official duties. Xia Shui raised the gun in her hand and pointed it at Yang Ming. Hurry up and get in the car. Are you abusing your authority? I need to call Uncle Chen and reflect on it. Yang Ming stared at Xia Shui coldly. You are using Captain Chen to threaten me. What do you mean? Xia Shui clenched her teeth. Yang Ming's words made her even angrier. She hated it when others threatened her. Xia Shui, let me tell you. Don't think that I don't know what you are thinking. Yang Ming sneered. He glared at her with red eyes and said, I'm not part of the motorcycle robbery gang. You know it in your heart. Although you can also take me back and investigate, you do have the authority to do so, and I have to cooperate with you. But I really have something to do now. What do you have to do? Xia Shui felt guilty when she saw Yang Ming's red eyes. She thought, did I really go overboard? But I didn't do anything wrong. But Xia Shui's voice wasn't as tough as before. Instead, she asked Yang Ming. Xia Shui, I am going to save my girlfriend now. She is being harassed by a few punks in the bar. The situation is very critical. Yang Ming said, how about this? I promise that after this is over, I will go to the police station to report to you. I will cooperate with you to investigate the motorcycle robbery gang. I will also apologize to you. Are you really going to save someone? Xia Shui looked at Yang Ming suspiciously. Yes, sister, I'm very anxious. Yang Ming said in a bad mood. Well, then I will go with you. Xia Shui said. She was a bit curious. What kind of girlfriend could a pervert like Yang Ming find? So, she wanted to see it. On the other hand, she wanted to see if Yang Ming was lying. What are you going to do? Aren't you going to cause trouble for me? Yang Ming shook his head and said, you know my home address. Are you still afraid that I will run away? Why would I be afraid of you running away? Humph. Xia Shui said coldly, don't forget, I am a police officer. If there are any punks, just leave it to me. You? Yang Ming curled his lips. Where is the bar? Don't waste time. Hurry up and get in the car. Xia Shui said to Yang Ming. What about the motorcycle? Although Yang Ming didn't care about the motorcycle, if he didn't want it, Xia Shui would definitely be suspicious. Shaoli, you go and put the motorcycle in the trunk. Xia Shui instructed the male driver of the police car. Okay. The male driver immediately got out of the car and began to move the motorcycle. It seemed that Xia Shui, the violent girl, was well known in the police station. Even the driver was in awe of her. Of course, this was only limited to young people. Chen Fei definitely wouldn't be afraid of her. Xia Shui didn't dare to use violence against Chen Fei. According to the location mentioned by Yang Ming, Xia Shui let Shaoli drive all the way to the bar with the siren. Because of the siren, the speed wasn't slower than Yang Ming's motorcycle. As soon as the car was parked, Yang Ming jumped out of the car first, followed by Xia Shui. Shaoli wasn't a police officer. He was just a driver, so it was impossible for him to participate in these things. After entering the bar, Yang Ming didn't have to look for it to see the location of Lin Jiyun. He walked over there directly. At this moment, Wu Xinkai was holding a bottle of wine and kept forcing Lin Jiyun to drink. Lin Jiyun was forced. Every time she could only take a small sip of the wine, but even so, the bottle of Corona was almost empty. Jiyun. Yang Ming walked quickly to Lin Jiyun's side and grabbed her arm. Yang Ming. Lin Jiyun waited for a long time. She was afraid that Yang Ming wouldn't be able to find this place. Now that she finally saw Yang Ming come, her heart was relieved. She leaned on Yang Ming like she was about to collapse. Yes, she was too nervous just now. In just 20 minutes, it felt like a century. Now that Yang Ming was here, Lin Jiyun wasn't afraid. She didn't know why, but this man who had hurt her was now standing by her side. Lin Jiyun had a strong sense of security. With him by her side, Lin Jiyun felt that she wasn't afraid of any danger. Kid! Who are you? Bai Hai saw a man suddenly appear and pull Lin Jiyun's arm. He immediately pointed at Yang Ming and shouted. I'm her boyfriend. I want to take my wife home. Yang Ming said faintly. You're her boyfriend. How come I don't know? Gu Xinyao said sarcastically, Lin Jiyun, do you know him? Lin Jiyun's face blushed and nodded slightly. He's my boyfriend, fuck. So what? Kid, I don't care who you are. This bar is my territory. I don't welcome you here. You should get out of here, or I will let you know why the flowers are so red. Wu Xinkai thought that he said a very funny joke, so he laughed twice. Seeing that the situation in front of him was unfavorable to him, he immediately began to smooth things over. Misunderstanding. Is it? Xia Shui said coldly. Disperse, disperse. It's fine, it's fine. Wu Xinkai quickly said to the little punks who surrounded him. Humph. Xia Shui snorted. She naturally knew what was going on with these little punks, but she couldn't arrest all of them. Since these people stopped, Xia Shui didn't care about them. She put away the pistol and found Lin Jiyun who was squatting on the ground. Sister, are you okay? Xia Shui asked quickly. It's fine. My leg is a little swollen, said Lin Jiyun. Yang Ming listened to Lin Jiyun's words. There was a trace of coldness in his eyes as he glanced at Wu Xinkai. He didn't expect Wu Xinkai to look at him too. Moreover, Wu Xinkai was mouthing to him, you wait and see. Yang Ming smiled disdainfully. He pointed at Wu Xinkai and made a contemptuous gesture. He also mouthed, you're finished. It's you. Xia Shui was stunned. Her impression of Lin Jiyun was quite deep. This was the first victim she had contacted since she entered the criminal investigation team. Ah. Sister Xia Shui. Lin Jiyun was also stunned. You and him are together. Although Lin Jiyun said at the time that he was Yang Ming's boyfriend, Xia Shui intuitively felt that there must be something fishy. However, since the matter hadn't been prosecuted, and since the victim also asked for the case to be closed, Xia Shui didn't need to ask in detail. But now, seeing that Lin Jiyun really became Yang Ming's girlfriend, she couldn't help but feel a little strange. Ugh, yes, no, actually. Lin Jiyun stuttered, he still doesn't know about that. Can you not tell him? Ah. Xia Shui was stunned, and then she reacted to what Lin Jiyun was talking about. She was a little suspicious, but she still nodded. Okay, I will keep it a secret for you, but I am a little curious. I want to know what happened. Okay, then, can you keep it a secret for me? Lin Jiyun asked. No problem. Xia Shui nodded. Do you two know each other? Yang Ming saw Lin Jiyun and Xia Shui whispering there, and he felt a little strange. However, he didn't use his special ability to see what the two people were talking about because he didn't think there would be anything special. Oh, no, her leg was injured. I just asked her how she was. Xia Shui replied. Yang Ming frowned. Obviously, Xia Shui lied. Originally, Yang Ming asked unintentionally, but Xia Shui lied to him. Yang Ming already knew that the victim of that incident was Lin Jiyun. How could Xia Shui not know her? Previously, what did Lin Jiyun and Xia Shui whisper about? However, one thing that Yang Ming could be sure of was that Lin Jiyun definitely didn't want him to know that she was the victim of that incident. Therefore, since this was the case, Yang Ming didn't need to ask anymore. "Let's go." Yang Ming asked, "Can we go? Do you want me to carry you?" Yang Ming now really wanted to love Lin Jiyun. This girl could always touch a man's desire to protect her. "I'm fine." Lin Jiyun just stood up carefully, and she almost fell to the ground again. "Look at you. Don't force yourself." Yang Ming squatted down without any explanation, then he patted his back and said, "Come up." "Oh." Lin Jiyun didn't know why, but under Yang Ming's unquestionable tone, Lin Jiyun actually obediently leaned on Yang Ming's back. Feeling the soft woman's body lying on his own body, Yang Ming's heart moved for no reason. Although this wasn't the first time he had such close contact with Lin Jiyun, and the last time was even naked. But this was completely different. The last time was unconscious. What happened? What did he see? Yang Ming didn't remember. This time, it was real. Feeling Lin Jiyun's breath, Lin Jiyun's heartbeat, and the faint fragrance from her body, Yang Ming was moved. Yang Ming stretched out his hands and gently held Lin Jiyun's buttocks. He only heard Lin Jiyun's soft moan, which made Yang Ming immediately have a physiological reaction. But fortunately, he had to bend over when carrying others, so it wouldn't be exposed. It couldn't be said that Yang Ming deliberately took advantage of Lin Jiyun, but if he didn't hold her buttocks while carrying her, he couldn't carry her steadily. Lin Jiyun also realized this, so she just moaned softly and didn't say anything else. "I say, you two, can you stop whispering sweet nothings to each other? Look at where you are." Xia Shui said anxiously. "Damn, no one will think you're mute if you don't talk." Xia Shui's words made Yang Ming embarrassed. He laughed awkwardly and carried Lin Jiyun to the door of the bar. Lin Jiyun was behind Yang Ming, so naturally, he couldn't see her expression. However, Lin Jiyun's embarrassment was no less than Yang Ming's. Yang Ming carried Lin Jiyun to Xia Shui's police car, and then carefully put her in the seat. When he got up, he accidentally hit his head on the roof of the car. Are you okay?" Lin Jiyun asked with concern. I'm fine. Yang Ming grimaced and touched his head. Fortunately, there wasn't a big bump. "Do you need to go to the hospital?" Xia Shui also got in the car and asked. "No. I'm fine," Yang Ming said with slight emotion. He didn't expect this violent girl to care about him. "I'm not asking you. I'm asking Lin Jiyun." Xia Shui rolled her eyes at Yang Ming and said, "Do you still need to go to the hospital when you hit your head?" Yang Ming broke into a sweat. "It seems that I'm thinking too much." The good impression I just had for Xia Shui was instantly shattered. "No need, Sister Xia Shui." Lin Jiyun also shook her head. "Just go home and apply some medicine." "Oh, that's fine too. Where is your home?" "I'll take you home first." Xia Shui nodded and said, "Little drive." Chapter 333. After sending Lin Jiyun to her home, Yang Ming still carried Lin Jiyun back. Xia Shui stayed in the car. Yang Ming didn't let her get out. "Later, can you not tell my mother how I got hurt? I'm afraid that she will be worried." Lin Jiyun whispered. "It's fine if you don't tell her, but the key is you. How did you go to that kind of place? It's so dangerous." Yang Ming said with some blame, "If I couldn't get there in time, what if there was an accident? I didn't expect Gu Xinyao to take me to that kind of place." Lin Jiyun whispered, "Sorry. I made you worry. What are you sorry for? It's not your fault." Yang Ming shook his head. But next time, you have to be smarter, okay? I think that Gushina probably didn't have good intentions. She was the one who asked you to buy something last time, right? Lin Jiyun nodded. Her chin knocked on Yang Ming's back, making Yang Ming feel very comfortable. That woman is the type who is looking for trouble. Yang Ming said with some disdain. Lin Jiyun didn't know how to answer, so she could only keep silent. Right, if she dares to trouble you again, especially her two friends. If they dare to harass you again, just tell me. I will kill them. Yang Ming said coldly. Thank you. Yang Ming, really? Lin Jiyun was a little touched. Suddenly, she even felt that Yang Ming was like her real boyfriend. He carried her, blamed her, and cared about her. She also enjoyed this feeling. Could it be that she had fallen in love with him? Impossible, no way. Lin Jiyun quickly shook her head and dispelled this idea. Yang Ming already has a girlfriend. I can't get involved in this. Lin Jiyun secretly warned herself. What are you thanking me for? Aren't you my girlfriend? Yang Ming said shamelessly. Taking advantage of me. Lin Jiyun complained to Yang Ming, but she wasn't displeased. Hee, we're almost home. Wouldn't I be able to quickly get into the zone? So as to avoid exposing ourselves. Yang Ming laughed. Nonsense. Lin Jiyun said in her heart, I'm so close to you now. You even did it behind my back. How could my mother doubt it? Sure enough, Xin Huiping didn't doubt the relationship between the two people. When she saw Yang Ming carrying Lin Jiyun back, she just asked with concern, Yang Ming, what happened to Yunair? Auntie Shen Jiyun accidentally touched her leg during the physical education class today. Yang Ming simply found a reason to explain. Thinking back to the time when he asked for leave in front of Qin Mengyan to skip class, he was full of lies and could easily come out of his mouth. Thinking of Qin Mengyan, Yang Ming felt a stab of pain in his heart. After all, when I was with Qin Mengyan, that was the real feeling of love. Yang Ming couldn't forget the passion they had in the cinema when they were in high school, and the pure love they had at the beginning of their university. Are you okay, Yunair? Xin Yueping's words pulled back Yang Ming's thoughts. Yang Ming, put Yunair on the sofa. Yunair, look at how good Yang Ming is to you. He actually sent you back behind your back. Yang Ming, Yunair isn't heavy, right? She's not heavy at all. It's okay. Isn't this what I should do? Yang Ming said with a smile. Right, Yang Ming, stay here for dinner tonight. I've stewed pork ribs and potatoes. Xin Yueping said. No, Auntie Xin, I still have something to do. Yang Ming said quickly. Then you can come back to eat after you're done. Xin Yueping said unwillingly. Mom. What are you doing? Lin Jiyun was a little embarrassed. You must come and eat. I'll make your share later. Xin Yueping said. Okay. Then I'll come over later. Yang Ming had to nod with a bitter smile. But to be honest, Yang Ming also wanted to get closer to Lin Jiyun's family. And then it's a promise. Xin Yueping said. Yang Ming went out of Lin Jiyun's house and got into Xia Shua's police car. Then he said, let's go, Officer Xia. Let's go back to the police station to accept the investigation with you. You're sensible. Xia Shui nodded and said to the driver, Shaoli, drive back to the police station. When they arrived at the police station, it was still the same interrogation room. Name. Gender. Occupation. Xia Shui asked. I say, Officer Xia, don't you have all my information? You have asked me twice before, right? Yang Ming said helplessly as he spread his hands. Don't talk nonsense. Say it quickly. Xia Shui said in a bad mood. Yang Ming, male. Yang Ming said his information again. Where did you get this motorcycle? Xia Shui asked. I spent 500 yuan to buy it from someone else. Yang Ming began to talk nonsense. 500. This motorcycle is only worth 500. Is it a stolen motorcycle? Xia Shui asked with a glare. Please, how would I know what motorcycle it is? I just bought it today. On the road near the school, I bought it from a young man with yellow hair. Yang Ming said. Why did you buy the motorcycle? Xia Shui asked. You also saw it. At that time, it was commuting time. The taxi was still waiting. Yang Ming shrugged and said, I was trying to save my girlfriend. I asked the young man who rode the motorcycle if he could give me a ride. In the end, he said that he would sell the motorcycle to me for 500 yuan. I was in a hurry, so I didn't say much to him and bought it. Is that so? Xia Shui listened to Yang Ming's words and nodded. Yang Ming said it in an orderly manner. There were no flaws at all. Besides, Xia Shui didn't think of Yang Ming as a robber. She just thought that he suddenly rode a motorcycle and rode it so fast. It was a little suspicious. Now that the reason was clear, there was no need to continue. This motorcycle is most likely stolen. Moreover, Songjiang City banned motorcycles on the road. I will seize this motorcycle first. Xia Shui said. Really? My 500 yuan is gone. Yang Ming pretended to be sad and said. It's good that you aren't fined. Xia Shui snorted. Then can I go? Asked Yang Ming. Yes. Xia Shui nodded. Did I just make a trip for nothing? Yang Ming said helplessly, couldn't you ask clearly just now? Why? Do you have an opinion? Do you believe that I will continue to ask you? Xia Shui said with a glare. Police officer Xia, I think there is a misunderstanding between us. It is better to make it clear. Yang Ming felt that it was necessary to make things clear. Otherwise, this Xia Shui would always cause trouble for him. What misunderstanding? You molested me last time. Is that a misunderstanding? Xia Shui said coldly. How is it that I molested you? Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded. Obviously, you kicked me first, and then I was accidentally pulled by you. That's why I fell on you. What does that have to do with molestation? I don't care. Anyway, you pushed me down, said Xia Shui. Ha! Pushed you down. Yang Ming was stunned and looked at Xia Shui. Does this lady really not know, or is she pretending not to know? Can the word pushed be simply said? Isn't it? Asked Xia Shui. I think, then it is. Yang Ming was completely helpless by Xia Shui. You see, you admit that you pushed me down. Xia Shui said proudly, humph, I have recorded your words with a mini tape recorder. I'm not afraid that you won't admit it next time. What? You recorded it. Yang Ming was surprised to see the small tape recorder in Xia Shui's hand that was used to collect evidence. Humph, are you scared? Yang Ming, I have something on you. Xia Shui took out the tape from the tape recorder and shook it in front of Yang Ming. Yang Ming was completely defeated by Xia Shui. He had to say, well, what do you want? Let me think. Xia Shui didn't have a deep hatred with Yang Ming. Now that Yang Ming asked her what she wanted, she really didn't know how to punish Yang Ming. If she beat him up, this kid would definitely complain to Captain Chin and say that she beat him up. Then, she would be punished. She couldn't do such a stupid thing. Xia Shui still didn't realize that she actually couldn't beat Yang Ming at all. Why don't you treat me to a meal? Xia Shui thought for a long time and finally came up with a way to make Yang Ming spend money. Treat you to a meal. Okay, no problem. Yang Ming nodded quickly. As long as you don't treat me as a suspect next time. Treating you to a meal is nothing. No. When Xia Shui saw that Yang Ming agreed so easily, she immediately felt that she was at a disadvantage. She quickly said, 2 meals. No, 3 meals. No, 5 meals. Is 10 meals okay? Yang Ming looked at the insatiable Xia Shui and said unhappily. 10 meals. No. Eat until I'm satisfied. Xia Shui finally said something shocking. Chapter 334. Damn. Are you using me as a long-term meal ticket? Yang Ming rolled his eyes. He thought to himself, this Xia Shui really dares to say anything. You pushed me in the front and now you're using me as a long-term meal ticket? Aren't you afraid that others will misunderstand? That's probably what I meant. Xia Shui nodded without thinking. She really fainted. Yang Ming was speechless. Does she really not understand, or is she pretending to be stupid? But looking at her expression, she probably doesn't understand. Otherwise, as a girl, there is probably a limit to what she can say and what she can't say, right? Why? Do you want to regret it? Xia Shui saw that Yang Ming didn't speak and thought that he regretted it. No, then that's it. You can eat as long as you want. Yang Ming said helplessly. Yang Ming, don't forget what you said. Xia Shui saw Yang Ming's sad face and thought that Yang Ming was heartbroken, so she was even happier. I won't forget. Yang Ming nodded. Can I go now? Sure, do you want to spend the night with me? I'm on duty tonight. Why don't you stay with me? Xia Shui said casually. Ugh. Ha. Yang Ming staggered and almost fell to the ground. Ruthless. This Xia Shui is definitely a ruthless person. What's wrong? Let me tell you, Yang Ming, it's useless for you to pretend to be pitiful. The evidence of you pushing me is already in my hands. If you don't treat me to a meal, I will announce it. Xia Shui threatened. Gudong. Yang Ming missed a step and his head hit the door directly. Yang Ming didn't care much about the motorcycle anyway. It was just that the police station was still a distance away from Lin Jian's home. Yang Ming looked at the time. He had been out for more than an hour. Auntie Shen must have already prepared the meal, so Yang Ming reached out and stopped a taxi. He went straight to the direction of Shanty Town. Young man, are you working at the police station? The commute time hadn't passed yet. There were more cars on the road, so the driving speed was relatively slow. No, I came to see a friend. Yang Ming said. Is it your girlfriend? The driver seemed to be a gossiper. Yang Ming didn't comment and smiled. He was in a hurry. He didn't have the mood to chat with this gossipy uncle. My niece is also working at the police station. Maybe we know each other. The driver continued, right, my niece is called Xia Shui. Do you know her? What? Xia Shui. Yang Ming was shocked. He stared at the taxi driver. Xia Shui is your niece. Yeah, what's wrong? Young man, are you Xia Shui's boyfriend? When the driver saw Yang Ming's expression, he asked curiously. No. I went to see Xia Shui, but we aren't boyfriend and girlfriend. Yang Ming was afraid that the driver would misunderstand, so he quickly said. But after Yang Ming said it, he regretted it. Wasn't he just admitting that he was hiding something? Couldn't he just say that he didn't know Xia Shui? A mistake. I hope this gossipy uncle doesn't misunderstand. Hee hee, I understand. Don't worry, young man. I will keep it a secret for you. I won't tell Xia Shui's parents. The driver uncle said. Yang Ming knew that the more he explained, the more troublesome it would be, so he simply shut his mouth. Young man, are you embarrassed? This can't be. I know Xia Shui's temper. With your introverted personality, you will suffer in the future. The driver uncle continued, I'm on the side of reason, not family. What I said was the truth. I watched that child grow up. She was like a boy since she was young. So, if you want to subdue her, you must be stronger than her. I know, uncle. Yang Ming said helplessly, you mean that if a woman doesn't hit for 3 days, she will become a troublemaker? Is that what you mean? Yes, almost. The driver uncle nodded. That's probably what I mean. But don't tell Xia Shui that this is what I said. Don't worry. I won't say it. Yang Ming said with a smile. As a result, this driver uncle probably wouldn't talk nonsense when he went back. Along the way, the driver uncle kept nagging. Yang Ming could only smile at him for the time being. This person is Xia Shui's uncle. I have to give him some face, right? Finally, the car stopped at the alley of Lin Jiyun's house in Shantytown. Yang Ming paid the fare and quickly got off the car. His ears finally had some peace. When he came to Lin Jiyun's house, Xin Yuping happened to be serving rice. When she saw Yang Ming, she quickly greeted, Yang Ming is here. Quickly find a place to sit. Don't be an outsider. We're a family. Okay, Auntie Xin. Yang Ming nodded quickly and said, do you want me to help you serve the rice? No need. You just sit down. It's almost time to eat. You go and help Yunair out. Xin Yuping said, she's resting in the leftmost room. Okay, I'll go now. Yang Ming nodded and said. Yang Ming found the innermost room according to Xin Yuping's instructions. He didn't think much about it. He didn't even knock on the door and went in, Yang Ming was stunned. He saw a scene that almost made him vomit blood. Lin Jiyun was taking off her clothes at the moment. Moreover, she was taking off her bra. Half of her bra was taken off. A big white rabbit jumped into Yang Ming's eyes. Lin Jiyun was also stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to suddenly push the door and come in. This was her own home, so Lin Jiyun didn't care so much. She felt that the clothes on her body weren't very comfortable. She was going to change into pajamas. Anyway, her mother was cooking outside. There were no outsiders at home. Lin Jiyun didn't have so many taboos. Who would have thought that Yang Ming would come in? That, Jiyun, Auntie Shen asked you to go and eat. Since he had already seen it, Yang Ming simply said it. Lin Jiyun's mind was in a state of stagnation. Now that she heard Yang Ming's words, she reacted. He was looking at her, and he saw everything. Yang Ming saw Lin Jiyun yelling and was shocked. He quickly ran over and covered Lin Jiyun's mouth with his hand. Woo-woo. Lin Jiyun looked at Yang Ming in horror. She didn't know what he was going to do. Could it be that when he saw her naked, he was lustful and wanted to do something? Lin Jiyun's heart began to beat wildly. Don't scream. Your mother is outside. If you scream so loudly, wouldn't she be exposed? Yang Ming said anxiously, we have both slept together. Let's see what will happen. Of course, Yang Ming's words had a double meaning. He was referring to the fact that Xin Yuping already knew about the relationship between the two of them. Secretly, he was letting Lin Jiyun feel relieved. The two of them did have a relationship, so there was no harm in taking a look. Sure enough, after Lin Jiyun listened to Yang Ming's words, she stopped screaming and calmed down a lot. In fact, Lin Jiyun also thought about this. She had already done it with him. Even if he saw it, it wasn't a big deal. So, Lin Jiyun didn't feel that she was at a disadvantage. Anyway, she had already suffered once. The second time wouldn't count. Even though Yang Ming's reaction was fast, Lin Jiyun's scream was still heard by Shen Yueping. Yunair, was it you just now? What happened to you? Shen Yueping wore an apron and pushed the door into Lin Jiyun's room. Yang Ming reacted quickly. He quickly pulled up the quilt beside the bed and covered Lin Jiyun. Mom, it's nothing. Yang Ming and I are messing around. Lin Jiyun explained with a blush. Shen Yueping glanced at the singlet that her daughter took off on the bed and saw that Lin Jiyun was wrapped in the quilt. She thought, my daughter must be naked. These two young people don't know how to avoid it. They just keep messing around at home. However, for this kind of thing, Shen Yueping couldn't say much as an elder. She coughed twice and said, the meal is ready. Let's go and eat. Okay, Mom, you go first. Yang Ming and I will be there soon. Lin Jiyun felt that her face was burning. It was probably already red, right? Although Lin Jiyun had already told her mother that she had sex with Yang Ming, it was one thing to tell her. It was another thing to be caught by her mother on the spot. Okay, then you two hurry up. There is still time after the meal. Besides, Yang Ming, Yunair's leg is injured today. You two shouldn't do any strenuous exercise. Shen Yueping insinuated a few words and left the room. It's all your fault. After Shen Yueping left, Lin Jiyun complained. What does this have to do with me? Who knew that you were undressing in the room? Yang Ming said with an innocent look. I am at home, in my own room. What's wrong with me undressing? Lin Jiyun said with a pout. Okay, I didn't see anything. Let's go and eat. Yang Ming shook his head and said. Then you turn around. I want to change my clothes. Lin Jiyun glared at Yang Ming and said. Chapter 335. Hee hee. Yang Ming laughed twice and turned around. But in his heart, if I want to see it, it's useless even if you wear clothes. But I'm a gentleman. If I want to see it, I will see it openly. One day, I will make you willingly let me see it. Lin Jiyun put on a set of pajamas and got off the bed. The injured part of her calf was affected. Lin Jiyun screamed and almost fell to the ground. Yang Ming quickly turned around and held Lin Jiyun's lower abdomen. Yang Ming only held it because he saw it. Otherwise, it would be awkward if he held it a little higher or lower. Although Lin Jiyun and I have been intimate, it's obvious that Lin Jiyun isn't willing to admit it. Yang Ming didn't know what Lin Jiyun was thinking, but since she wasn't willing to admit it, it meant that she didn't want to have a close relationship with him. So, Yang Ming couldn't go too far. Not only would Lin Jiyun look down on him and think that he was taking advantage of her, but it wouldn't be good for the future development of their relationship. Be careful. Are you okay? Yang Ming held it just right and let go of his hand. It's still a little painful. Lin Jiyun frowned. Come on, lean on me. Yang Ming let Lin Jiyun lean on his side, and then one hand naturally hugged her waist. Lin Jiyun was a little overwhelmed by Yang Ming's intimate action. Today. I seem to be a little too intimate with him, right? Lin Jiyun thought so, but isn't this a special situation? When my leg is healed, I won't be so intimate anymore. Lin Jiyun comforted herself. So, the two were like a couple snuggling up to each other as they walked to the living room. Because Lin Jiyun's leg wasn't very flexible, the center of gravity of the whole person was on Yang Ming's body. Because she didn't wear a bra under her pajamas, the softness in front of Lin Jiyun's chest naturally touched Yang Ming's body. Although it was already early winter and he was wearing a thick woolen coat, the soft jade beside him still made Yang Ming somewhat uneasy. Shen Yueping didn't feel that there was anything wrong with the two of them. When she saw them coming out, she quickly greeted them, "Come and sit down. The meal is ready." "Auntie Shen, where's Uncle Lin?" Yang Ming found it strange that Lin Jiyun's father, Lin Chongqing, wasn't at home. She had thought that he had gone out and would be back soon, but it was already dinner time and she still hadn't seen him, so she asked curiously. "Oh. You're talking about old Lin. He found a job and went to the provincial capital to do some business. He might not be back for a few days," said Shen Yueping. "I see. I see. Let's eat." Yang Ming nodded and said. He had to admit that Shen Yueping's cooking skills were excellent. The pork ribs and potatoes were stewed just right. Yang Ming praised, "Auntie Shen, your cooking skills are really good." "Hee, Yang Ming, you're wrong." Shen Yueping smiled and shook her head. "If you like this taste, you can eat it orally in the future." "What do you mean?" Yang Ming was stunned. Lin Jiyun's face was red. "My little girl Yun is better at cooking than me." Shen Yueping smiled and said, "When her leg is better, let her cook for you." "Okay." Yang Ming nodded quickly. "I must try it." "Mom, what are you talking about?" Lin Jiyun was a little embarrassed. "How is this nonsense?" Shen Yueping said, "You are better at cooking than me. Besides, didn't Mom tell you before? To keep a man's heart, you must first capture his stomach." Lin Jiyun's face was as red as a small lantern. "Mom, don't talk about it, you're still embarrassed." Shen Yueping said jokingly, "Why didn't you think about being embarrassed when you two were whispering sweet nothings on the bed?" Lin Jiyun was so shy that she almost buried her head under the table. "Then I won't talk about it. Let's eat." Seeing that her daughter was really shy, Shen Yueping stopped talking. "Jiyun, your leg is injured. Eat more meat." Yang Ming gave Lin Jiyun a piece of pork ribs. "Thank you." Lin Jiyun knew that Yang Ming cared about her, and he also wanted to show his concern in front of her mother. So, Lin Jiyun didn't refuse. She thanked him and ate silently. When people were old, their memory wasn't very good. Shen Yueping just stopped for a while, and her old habit came up again. "Yang Ming, Auntie knows about you and Yunair, but you young people are more impulsive. Auntie has been through it before. I have to remind you that you have to be prepared for everything. Don't fight an unprepared war." "What?" Yang Ming didn't understand. "Auntie, what are you talking about?" "War." Yang Ming didn't understand, but Lin Jiyun understood. Previously, her mother had said these words more than 3 times. She was a little familiar with it. "Forget it. Let Yunair talk to you later." As an elder, Shen Yueping couldn't be too explicit. Since Yang Ming didn't understand, she could only let her daughter talk to him. "Jiyun, what I told you, did you tell Yang Ming?" No. Lin Jiyun shook her head. "This is a serious matter. It's related to your lifelong happiness. You can't be careless." Shen Yueping said, "Let's do it this way. After dinner, you take Yang Ming to your room to play and talk about that matter. I will clean the dishes." Although Shen Yueping wasn't the kind of person who supported her daughter's premarital sex, what else could she do? What should have happened had happened. The only thing she could do now was to remind them to pay attention to their safety. Shen Yueping also knew that it was impossible to stop this kind of thing. She was also an experienced person. She knew that it was unrealistic for young people who had tasted the forbidden fruit for the first time to stop. So since she couldn't stop it, she could only guide it correctly. Yang Ming was confused. What lifelong happiness can't be careless? It wasn't good to ask now. He could only ask Lin Jian later. After dinner, Yang Ming was ready to help Shen Yueping wash the dishes, but he was rejected by Shen Yueping. She asked him to accompany Lin Jian. In fact, there were only 3 bowls and chopsticks, so it was easy to clean them up. So, Yang Ming didn't refuse anymore. He helped Lin Jian back to the room. Jian, what did your mother mean just now? After entering the room, Yang Ming asked Lin Jian to sit on the bed, and then he sat on the opposite chair. Ah, nothing. Lin Jian shook her head with a strange look. Nothing. Yang Ming was even more baffled. Jian, are you hiding something from me? No, how can I hide it from you? Lin Jian said quickly. No, there must be something. If you don't say it, I will ask Auntie Shen. Yang Ming said as he was about to get up. It wasn't that Yang Ming was curious, but the matter was too strange. This mother and daughter both wanted to say something but stopped. Could there be any conspiracy? Yeah, don't go. Lin Jian was shocked and quickly stopped him. I will tell you. Then, you say it. Yang Ming nodded. Actually, my mother meant for us to pay attention to safety. Lin Jian stuttered. Pay attention to safety. Yang Ming was even more inexplicable. Why don't we pay attention to safety? It's that time. Lin Jian saw that Yang Ming didn't give up. She had no choice but to explain. That? Yang Ming's mouth was wide open. This time, he understood. When Lin Jian said that, Yang Ming understood what was going on. Then, what do you think? Yang Ming asked with a smile. What do I think? I didn't do that with you. Lin Jian said with a red face. Yang Ming, can you not talk about this? Okay, then I won't talk about it. Yang Ming smiled and nodded. Let's talk about it in the future. In the future. Lin Jian bit her teeth. This Yang Ming only knows how to take advantage of me. What does he mean by in the future? Does he mean that I can do that with him in the future? However, Lin Jian didn't want to be serious with Yang Ming. If Yang Ming didn't mean that, wouldn't she be thinking too much? In fact, Yang Ming really meant that. But even if Lin Jian was serious, he wouldn't admit it. Right, Yang Ming, can you do me a favor? Lin Jian suddenly thought of something and said to Yang Ming. Help. Tell me, what is it? When Yang Ming saw that Lin Jian was talking about something serious, he put away his joking expression and asked seriously. Chapter 336. Can you help me with a few tutoring classes? Lin Jian asked. Substitute classes. Why? Yang Ming didn't understand. Tutoring isn't a normal school. It's okay to miss a few classes, right? Besides, look at my level. Can I substitute for you? You're also a college student. Why can't you? Besides, didn't you graduate from number 4 high school? Number 4 high school is also a good school. Lin Jian said, in fact, this is the case. I just called my family and told them that I hurt my leg and had to stop tutoring a few times. But the child in that family is about to take the final exam, so his parents don't want to relax. I had no choice, so I promised them to recommend another person to substitute for the class. His parents agreed. Asked Yang Ming. And they believe in me. Lin Jian nodded and said. Yang Ming was stunned. Asking a problem student like me to be a tutor. What an international joke. Am I really okay? Asked Yang Ming as he scratched his head. It shouldn't be a problem to teach a junior high school student, right? Lin Jiyun smiled. Well, since you have promised them, then I will reluctantly do it. Yang Ming said, but don't blame me if you teach wrong. Yang Ming asked for the junior high school student's home address and then wrote it down on a piece of paper. He definitely couldn't go today. Yang Ming was going to go tomorrow, but this was not easy to do. Wasn't he leading the child astray? After asking Lin Jiyun about the precautions and the progress of the child's course, Yang Ming's heart was a little more confident. It was all knowledge from the second year of junior high school. His academic performance at that time was still very good. It shouldn't be a problem. Lin Jiyun also gave Yang Ming a tutorial book for teaching and asked Yang Ming to go back and do a simple preview. In front of a very remote castle on the edge of a small town in Europe. An old man looked at everything here with bright eyes. 40 years. I haven't been here for 40 years. The old man said faintly. Who are you? What are you doing here? This is private property. If there's nothing else, please leave immediately. A young Asian man walked over to the old man and spoke in Italian. Fearing that the old man would not understand, he repeated it in French and English. Can you speak Chinese? The old man asked directly in Chinese. Are you from China? The young Asian man was stunned and replied in Chinese. Tell your patriarch that his old friend is here, the old man said indifferently. How should I address you, sir? The young yellow man's expression also became much more respectful. There were very few Chinese here, so the person in front of him was probably an old friend of the family head. King of Assassins. The old man glanced at the young Asian and grinned. When the young yellow-skinned man heard the old man's words, he couldn't help but tremble. As a member of the butterfly family, it was impossible for him not to know the name of the King of Assassins. You are Senior Fong. The young Asian man said respectfully, I am Wang Sunfeng from the butterfly family. N. Fong Tian nodded and said, go and report to your patriarch. Please wait a moment, Senior Fong. Wang Sunfeng bowed and ran in to report. Not long after, the castle's doors were all opened. An old man about the same age as Fong Tian came out to greet him. Fong Tian, it's really you. Wang Songshan, you're quite healthy. You're alive and kicking. I thought you were dead. Fong Tian made a rare joke. Bullshit. I'm fine. If I were to die, you would die first. Wang Songshan immediately scolded back. Some of the family's children behind Wang Songshan looked at the usually solemn and serious family master in astonishment. What happened today? Why was he scolding an old man like a hooligan? Hee, I'm very healthy. Why aren't you inviting me in? Fong Tian laughed. If you want to go in yourself. It's not like you don't have legs. But Kid Fong, didn't you say that you would never step into the butterfly family again? Wang Songshan said sarcastically. That was what I said to your father before he died. Now that he's dead, what I said naturally doesn't count. Fong Tian shook his head and said. Fong Tian, I shouldn't have let you in at all. Do you know? Wang Songshan said as he walked, I'm in charge now, so I'll let it go. If it were my father, he would definitely kick you out. Are you still brooding over that? Fong Tian smiled bitterly and shook his head. It's not that I'm brooding over it, but you broke the rules. You broke a rule that has been in place for hundreds of years. Wang Songshan said, the previous king of assassins was the son-in-law of the butterfly family. You should know this, right? Your master was one, and so was your master's master. When it came to you, you actually ran away secretly. Brat Wong, we grew up together. Don't you know my character? I already had someone I liked before. How could you let me marry your sister? Besides, she doesn't like me. Fong Tian said. But the rules can't be changed. You should know that. Wang Songshan emphasized. The rules have been changed. What do you want to do? Fong Tian said with a fearless look. AI. Do you have a successor? Kid Fong, you're not young anymore. It's time to consider this problem. Wang Songshan sighed and said. I've already found a successor. Why? Are you thinking about my precious disciple? Let him marry into your butterfly family. Fong Tian laughed. I say, Kid Fong, you're not so kind. I thought you came to see me because you missed me. It turns out that it's because of your precious disciple. Wang Songshan shook his head and said, You have a good plan. You know that I only have one daughter. If you let your disciple marry my daughter, do you want to take over our butterfly family? Weren't you the one who said that there were no rules? If that's the case, then pretend that I didn't say anything. Fong Tian looked as if he had Wang Songshan in his grasp. Where is your disciple? I need to observe for a while. Wang Songshan hesitated and said. I can't tell you this now. Let's talk about it later. Fong Tian shook his head and said, I'm here for a serious matter. Get me some of the latest guns and training equipment. Think of a way to smuggle them back. Kid Fong, are you kidding me? Smuggle them back. Do you think I have a anywhere door? Wang Songshan said with a glare. I don't care. I'll leave this to you. Fong Tian boasted shamelessly, to be honest, I haven't seen what your daughter looks like. My disciple's standards are very high. Don't be so ugly, then I can only arrange for you to be a servant girl or something like that. Get out of here. Wang Songshan said fiercely, I'm afraid that your disciple has supernatural skills. In the previous world's assassin rankings, the first few spots were occupied by the butterfly family. However, the first place was an independent individual, the king of assassins. Many people didn't understand why the butterfly family tolerated a person who didn't belong to their organization to ride on their head. In fact, what people didn't know was that the king of assassins and the butterfly family actually had a deep relationship. The king of assassins of the past was the son-in-law of the butterfly family. Of course, this could also be regarded as a kind of marriage, a bridge that restricted each other. It wasn't known when it started, but now, this had become a rule. Of course, the king of assassins of the past didn't necessarily only have one wife from the butterfly family. However, the one with a reputation must be from the butterfly family. It was precisely because of this that the butterfly family and the king of assassins coexisted subtly. It was even more so in Fong Tian's generation. When Fong Tian was receiving training, he had stayed in the butterfly family for a long time. He was originally engaged to the daughter of the butterfly family's master at that time, who was also Wang Songshan's sister. However, during a mission, Fong Tian fell in love with an ordinary woman. Fong Tian gave up his career as an assassin for her. He concealed his identity in Songjiang and lived a normal life. This made the butterfly family's master at that time very angry. He sent Wang Songshan to look for Fong Tian. Wang Songshan found Fong Tian with great difficulty. In the end, he saw that Fong Tian was already married. Moreover, Fong Tian also said that as long as Wang Songshan's father was the master of the family, he would never step into the butterfly family. In the end, Fong Tian was dissatisfied with the forced marriage. Wang Songshan and Fong Tian had a good relationship, so Wang Songshan didn't force him and returned to the family to report. Chapter 337. Right, little brat Wang, where's your sister? Fong Tian asked Wang Songshan at the butterfly family's private dinner. She's already married. Do you expect her to be a widow for you? Wang Songshan rolled his eyes at Fong Tian. That's not it. I know that she's married and I'm relieved. Otherwise, wouldn't I be harming her? Fong Tian shook his head and said. The person my sister married is much better than you. He's the heir to the Hutu's family's patriarch. Wang Songshan said. I don't care who he is. It has nothing to do with me. Fong Tian snorted. Little brat Fong, I heard that you entered the detention center later. What happened? With your skills, it shouldn't be a problem for you to escape from the detention center, right? Wang Songshan asked curiously. I did it on purpose. I was looking for someone. Fong Tian said faintly. Looking for someone? Looking for who? Wang Songshan asked curiously. You don't know him. He's a schemer. Fong Tian said. Little brat Fong, when did you become so deep? Wang Songshan said sarcastically. Hee, we're not young anymore. Are you like this in front of others? Fong Tian laughed. Of course not. Wang Songshan also laughed. Seeing you reminds me of the things when we were young. I really miss it. Yeah, 40 years have passed in a flash. We're both old. Fong Tian nodded in agreement. How long are you going to stay here? Wang Songshan asked. Not necessarily. I have to look for that person's whereabouts. Fong Tian said. The person who caused you to enter the detention center? Wang Songshan asked, wasn't that person shot? He's not the mastermind behind the scenes. There's someone else behind the scenes. Fong Tian said. Who is it? Wang Songshan asked. I'm not sure. Fong Tian shook his head. That's why I'm still looking. Up to you. Just let me know if you need help. Wang Songshan nodded and said. Let's not talk about this. Come, let's have a drink. Fong Tian raised his glass, and the two of them clinked together. When Yang Ming returned to the dormitory, it was already very late. As soon as he entered the room, Tian Donghua greeted him and said very lasciviously, Yang Ming, there was a beauty looking for you just now. It seems that your relationship with you is not ordinary. Beautiful woman. Yang Ming was stunned. Don't listen to his nonsense. Teacher Xiaoying is here to look for you. Zhang Bin said, she seemed to be looking for you. Seeing that you were not here, she left her phone number and asked you to call her when you came back. Xiaoying. Yang Ming's heart moved. He was going to find Xiaoying, so he quickly asked, what's the phone number? Here. Zhang Bin handed a note to Yang Ming. Yang Ming glanced at it. It was indeed Xiaoying's handwriting. Yang Ming was already very familiar with that beautiful handwriting. There were countless times after school that Xiaoying used this handwriting to mark his exercises for him. Looking at the note in front of him, Yang Ming was filled with emotion. He nodded to Zhang Bin and got up to go back to his room. What happened to him? Tian Donghua asked strangely. What is love? That Xiaoying is our high school math teacher. She and Yang Ming. Zhang Bin shook his head as he said this. Damn. It can't be. Teacher. Yang Ming is so badass that he even has a relationship with a teacher. Tian Donghua's face was filled with disbelief. Yang Ming tried to calm down his mood. He dialed the number on the note with his mobile phone. The phone was connected. After 2 rings, there was a familiar voice on the other side. Hello. Hello. Sister Ing, I am Yang Ming. Yang Ming took a deep breath and said. However, he could feel that his heart was beating faster. His hand that was holding the phone was shaking unconsciously. Yang Ming. You are back. Zhao Ying heard Yang Ming's voice and said with some surprise. Yeah, I just came back. Zhang Bin said that you came to find me. Yang Ming said. And I went to find you. Right, do you know? I am now a graduate student at Songjiang Industry University. Zhao Ying said. I know. I went to see Teacher Li that day and heard her mention it. Yang Ming nodded and said. He didn't know why, but he and Zhao Ying suddenly had a very strange feeling. Is it because we haven't contacted each other for a long time? Or, am I deliberately avoiding something? Or is this just my own illusion? Are you free tomorrow? Come out and meet me. Zhao Ying asked. Sister Ying, where is that Jean gang? After a long time of depression, Yang Ming finally asked this question. Yes, since the time he saw Zhao Ying and Jean gang walking together on the street, Yang Ming's heart had been like a big stone that was blocked. Yes, it is Jean gang. Yang Ming figured it out. The reason for the gap in his relationship with Zhao Ying was Jean gang. Jean gang. Is he still teaching at school? Zhao Ying was a bit puzzled why Yang Ming asked this. Why did you suddenly mention him? Sister Ying, aren't you with Jean gang? Yang Ming was also a bit puzzled. Listening to Zhao Ying's words, it seemed that she had nothing to do with Jean gang. Together with him. I can't wait to hate him. How can I be with him? Zhao Ying didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then, the last time you were on the commercial street, you and him. Yang Ming asked hesitantly. You mean that time, the school sent the two of us to order the freshmen's uniforms. Zhao Ying's heart was warm. It seems that Yang Ming still cares about me because he is jealous. He is jealous of Jean gang. However, then Zhao Ying was a bit sad. So what if Yang Ming cares about me? Now, with Chen Mengyan in front of me, even if Yang Ming cares about me, he can't abandon Chen Mengyan to be with me. Ah. It's like this. Yang Ming took a deep breath. The depression in his heart that couldn't be eliminated disappeared in an instant. Then, what do you want? After the two of them spoke a few words, it seemed that they found the feeling of bickering in the past. There was no longer the previous feeling of unfamiliarity. Sister Ying, I want to see you. Yang Ming hesitated and suddenly said. See me. Now. Zhao Ying was stunned and asked. Yes, now. Yang Ming said firmly. In Yang Ming's heart, the feelings of longing burst out in an instant. It's very late. I want to sleep. Zhao Ying said. In the past, at this time, the two of us used to study together. Yang Ming said. Well, where? Zhao Ying sighed. She did miss Yang Ming. You know, the reason why she applied for graduate school was entirely for Yang Ming. However, she thought of things too simply before. After she saw Chen Mengyan, she realized how complicated things were. There were already 3 women beside Yang Ming. I'm in the dormitory. Where are you? Asked Yang Ming. How about this? You wait for me at the warehouse in front of the dormitory. Zhao Ying said. 10 minutes later, Yang Ming saw Zhao Ying at the warehouse not far from the dormitory. Zhao Ying was still so pure and beautiful. Compared to the original sex appeal, Zhao Ying now had more of a student's aura. She seemed to be full of youthful energy. Sister Ying. Yang Ming quickly greeted her. Yang Ming, you've matured. Zhao Ying looked at Yang Ming from head to toe. After a while, she murmured, You've grown up. Sister Ying, I miss you. Yang Ming said bluntly. And I miss you too. You're a younger brother, so you still remember your sister? Zhao Ying deliberately positioned the relationship between the two as a brother and sister. Of course, I've never forgotten you. Yang Ming handed over a paper bag and said, Here, Sister Ying. This is a set of jewelry that I bought for you in Hong Kong. Yang Ming didn't care about the title of brother and sister. How about sister? With the example of Xiao Qin, the fucking sister, Yang Ming felt that it was better to be a brother and sister. Wasteful spending. Zhao Ying smiled and took Yang Ming's gift. How is it? Is your university life okay? And, it's more relaxed than high school. There's nothing to do in a day. Yang Ming nodded and said, Sister Ying, why do you want to go to graduate school? Isn't it good to be a teacher in high school? Hee, if I said that I was worried about you as a younger brother, so I followed you, would you believe me? Zhao Ying deliberately said with a joking tone. Yes. Yang Ming nodded and suddenly turned his head. He stared at Zhao Ying's eyes and asked, Sister Ying, tell me the truth. Are you really doing this for me? Zhao Ying's heart was throbbing when Yang Ming looked at her. She shook her head and swallowed the word, yes, that was about to come out of her mouth. She smiled and said, I was just joking with you. Did you take it seriously? I think that I should learn more while I'm still young. Hee. Yang Ming laughed twice. It seemed that he had misunderstood. Chapter 338. Did you have a fight with Chen Mengyan? Zhao Ying asked. Sort of. Have you seen her? Yang Ming nodded. He naturally wouldn't say that he sent Zhang Bin to follow her. That would be too dirty. And I saw her 2 days ago. After that, I've been wanting to talk to you. Zhao Ying said faintly, let's find a place to sit. It's winter. We can't just stand here stupidly, right? It's so cold. Hee, that's right. Why don't we find a coffee shop or something? Yang Ming suggested. Okay, but you lead the way. I'm still a freshman. I'm not familiar with this area. Zhao Ying was like a child. She tiptoed and looked around. Let's go. I know a place. The students around here all go there. Yang Ming said with a smile. The winter night was very cold. The climate in the north was already -10 to 20 degrees. A gust of cold wind blew, and Zhao Ying unconsciously shivered. Is it cold? Yang Ming looked at Zhao Ying's down jacket and asked strangely, You're wearing thick clothes. But I didn't wear a sweater inside. When you called me out, I was already lying in bed ready to sleep. The sweater was dry cleaned in the dry cleaning shop downstairs, so I could only wear a sweater and a down jacket. Zhao Ying said with a bitter smile. Why didn't you say so earlier? Yang Ming saw Zhao Ying shivering. He quickly took off his coat and wrapped it around Zhao Ying's body. Yang Ming was very tall, and the coat was very loose. So, even if Zhao Ying was wearing a down jacket, it was easy to wrap her up. Then what are you going to do? Zhao Ying saw that Yang Ming only wore a cashmere sweater inside. She asked with some concern. Me? Don't worry, I'm like a fire in winter. Yang Ming laughed. Unexpectedly, another cold wind blew. Even though Yang Ming was very strong, he couldn't help but shiver. You only know how to talk nonsense. You even put out a fire, right? Zhao Ying saw Yang Ming's expression and said with some amusement, Hurry up and pass the clothes. Forget it. I can resist the cold. It's fine. Yang Ming shook his head and said, Let's go. Zhang Bin has a car. Let's drive his car. It's right in front of us. It's just 2 steps away. Okay then. Zhao Ying nodded and quickly walked forward with Yang Ming. Although the weather was still cold, even with Yang Ming's coat, Zhao Ying still felt very cold. But her heart was warm. Yes, it was this long-lost feeling. Yang Ming's concern and care for her made the deliberately suppressed feelings in Zhao Ying's heart begin to loosen. Once it broke out, it would be uncontrollable. Zhao Ying knew that if she expressed something first, Yang Ming would definitely respond to her. This was a woman's keen intuition. He still cared about her. Moreover, he cared about her very much. Just from the fact that he was brooding about the matter of Jean Gang's shopping with her, it could be seen that Yang Ming definitely had her in his heart. However, Zhao Ying was confused again. Even if Yang Ming responded to her, so what? Now that Yang Ming didn't lack women around him, would he still value her as much as before? Moreover, what would Chen Mengyan think? Snatching the boyfriend of her own student, if it was Zhao Ying a year ago, she would definitely snort and even laugh her head off. What a ridiculous thing. A teacher falling in love with a student. It was like writing a novel. However, it really did happen to him. Zhao Ying felt very bitter. She was a failure. The first failure was that she shouldn't have fallen in love with Yang Ming, but this matter wasn't something she could control. Sometimes, love came so inexplicably. Love was one of the most mysterious emotions. Many experts had studied love, but there was no particularly clear result. A person would fall in love with another person. This was originally a very strange thing. Therefore, Zhao Ying fell in love with Yang Ming. This couldn't be helped. However, Zhao Ying felt that her biggest failure was that the opportunity had appeared in front of her, but she gave it up. That night, at that moment, Yang Ming and I fell in love. If it weren't for my hesitation and contradiction, I should have become Yang Ming's woman from then on. However, there was no medicine for regret. Zhao Ying shook her head and looked up. She found that Yang Ming had taken out the car remote control and opened the door of a car not far away. Get in the car, Sister Ying. Yang Ming helped Zhao Ying open the door of the front passenger seat in a very gentlemanly manner. After Zhao Ying sat in, he returned to the driver's seat. This is the car Zhang Bin bought. Zhao Ying looked at the interior of the car and asked. Yeah, I bought it with him. This car is okay. Yang Ming said, it's not bad among the domestic cars. I didn't expect Zhang Bin to be so rich. Zhao Ying smiled. It's okay, but this kid isn't as rich as me now. In front of the woman he liked, Yang Ming unconsciously showed off a little. You? Did you win a prize? Zhao Ying was stunned and asked. I say, Sister Ying, do you look down on me so much? In addition to winning a prize, can't I make money by myself? Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded. But fortunately, Zhao Ying didn't question whether he had money, but directly guessed where the money came from. No, I know that Zhang Bin's family condition is good. Zhao Ying explained, I remember that your family isn't rich, right? This is true, but after I went to college, I made a lot of money. At least, it's not a problem to support you. Yang Ming smiled. Ah. Zhao Ying's face suddenly blushed. What does he mean by, support me? Seeing Zhao Ying like this, Yang Ming knew that his words were a bit ambiguous. He said with a smile, I mean, the younger brother supports the older sister. That's it, ah. I know. Zhao Ying's face was even redder. Some of the dim yellow lights made the cold winter full of a warm feeling. What do you want? Asked one of the bosses. What do you have? This is our first time here. Yang Ming asked one of the bosses. Chapter 339. There's a menu on the table. You can choose from it, one of the bosses said. Okay, let's take a look. Yang Ming and Zhao Ying found the menu under the glass of the table and looked at it. I'll have a cup of hot lemon tea. Zhao Ying said. I'll have a cup of black tea. Yang Ming didn't care. He just found a place to chat with Zhao Ying, and a fruit platter. Okay, please wait a moment. One of the bosses took down the things Yang Ming wanted and left. Can you talk about it now? Did you and Chen Mengyan have a fight? Zhao Ying put her cold red hands by her mouth and rubbed them back and forth. Sister Ying, are you cold? Yang Ming asked, do you want me to help you warm your hands? No, no need, Zhao Ying said with some embarrassment, I'm fine. Don't change the topic. I'm asking you a question. Sister Ying, since you know that Chen Mengyan and I have a fight, you probably know the general reason. Yang Ming said with a bitter face and shrugged. Of course I know. How old are you? You're already flirting outside. Zhao Ying snorted with some dissatisfaction. She didn't know whether her snort was because of Chen Mengyan or because of the dissatisfaction in her heart. Some things have already happened. I can't do anything about it. Yang Ming sighed and said, Sister Ying, I won't hide it from you. Indeed, I have a relationship with other women. But this is something that can't be helped. I can't abandon them for Chen Mengyan, right? This is unfair to them. And, if I really do that, who can guarantee that one day I won't abandon Chen Mengyan for the same reason? Zhao Ying sighed and said, I know, but now that it's like this, what do you want to do? Sister Ying, it's not what I want to do now. It's Chen Mengyan who won't forgive me. Yang Ming said helplessly, I've already laid my cards on the table with Chen Mengyan. Although she said that she needs to think about it for a while, there hasn't been any results. You too, I don't know what to say. Zhao Ying shook her head and said, Chen Mengyan also told me that she seems to have accepted this fact in her heart. She's just not willing to admit it. Really? Sister Ying. After hearing this, Yang Ming was happy and asked slightly excitedly. Yeah, think about it. If Chen Mengyan didn't forgive you and wanted to break up with you completely, would she still drag it out? She would have broken up with you long ago. Zhao Ying said, this means that she can't bear to part with you. She can't bear to part with this relationship. She's hesitating. Although Yang Ming wasn't stupid, he didn't understand women's thoughts very well. Now that he heard what Zhao Ying said, he also felt that this was the case. Think about it yourself. Now, although Chen Mengyan doesn't say it, because she is a stubborn and strong child, she doesn't want to share your love with others. But she also knows that she can't monopolize you. So, in this contradiction, she can only hesitate. Zhao Ying said with a smile. Then, what should I do now? Yang Ming asked quickly. You, as a boy, naturally have to take the initiative. Zhao Ying complained, do you expect a girl to speak to you first? I got it. Thank you, Sister Ying. Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. The long-time problem was finally solved. Zhao Ying is really my lucky star. Once she appeared, she solved 2 depressing things in my heart in one night. It's okay. Who asked me to be your sister? Zhao Ying said with a forced smile. Her heart was dripping blood. She helped Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan, but the matter between Yang Ming and her was in an endless quagmire. There was silence, a terrible silence. The 2 people finished what they wanted to say, and the rest was not to be said. Yang Ming originally wanted to mention the matter between himself and Zhao Ying, but he saw that Zhao Ying didn't seem to have any thoughts about it, so he stopped talking. Excuse me, both of you. The voice of one of the bosses came from the door. After a long while, the curtain was opened. One of the bosses smiled and put the things that Yang Ming ordered on the table one by one, and then left quickly. The service attitude here was also one of the reasons why this place was so popular. Just now, one of the bosses deliberately reminded the couple in the booth, and then went in after a long time. In this way, the couple inside had time to prepare. What if they were kissing? Wouldn't it be bad if they bumped into each other? Let's drink something. Yang Ming pointed to the things on the table and said, "Right, Sister Ing, what is your postgraduate major?" International Finance. Zhao Ying picked up her lemon tea and said, "International Finance. Sister Ing, didn't you study mathematics? Why is the jump so big?" Yang Ming looked at Zhao Ying strangely and asked. Mathematics. I can't help it. My family was more rigid, and they asked me to study it. In fact, who doesn't have a dream? My dream is to be in the business world one day, but this dream seems to be unrealistic now. Zhao Ying said with a smile. Why do you say so? Yang Ming asked in his heart. I graduated, but I'm just a postgraduate student. I'm just applying for a job in a financial company. It's impossible to give me any important tasks. Zhao Ying smiled. Nowadays, postgraduate students are overflowing, right? So, there is always a gap between ideals and reality. Then if I open a company in the future, Sister Ing, you can come directly. Yang Ming said with a smile. Okay, but you can't go back on your words at that time. Zhao Ying agreed without thinking. On the one hand, it was because she thought that Yang Ming was joking. However, even if it was not a joke, Zhao Ying was also willing from the bottom of her heart. I'm afraid that you will go back on your words. Yang Ming thought, Zhao Ying must think that I am joking, but since you promised, you can't go back on your words when the time comes. In a few words, the relationship between the two people was pulled closer in an instant. Originally, there was no contradiction between the two people. It was just that the topic of Qin Mengyan was a little awkward for each other. But now, Yang Ming and she deliberately avoided this topic, so the atmosphere was harmonious. Right, Sister Ing, that Jean Gang didn't bother you again, right? Yang Ming asked. I don't know why he is so afraid of you. When he came to bother me, as long as I mentioned you, this guy immediately stopped talking. I didn't expect that Yang Ming, you could still suppress him. Zhao Ying thought it was funny when she thought about it. It is probably because of me. Yang Ming smiled and said, the last meal was enough for this guy to go bankrupt. You still say that? How can you be so bad? Jean Gang doesn't have it easy. The money he earns is not enough to treat. Zhao Ying said this, but her uncontrollable smile betrayed her. In fact, it was really as Yang Ming expected. Jean Gang was completely traumatized by Yang Ming. Not only was he tricked by Yang Ming several times, but he didn't succeed every time he tried to retaliate against Yang Ming. No matter how ruthless the person was, Yang Ming seemed to settle it easily. This kind of person, how could Jean Gang dare to find trouble with him? So when Zhao Ying mentioned Yang Ming, Jean Gang's psychological shadow began to mess up, so he didn't dare to do it again. Who asked him to have bad intentions towards Sister Ing? Yang Ming said, if there is still someone who pesters you like Jean Gang, I will treat him the same. Yang Ming, aren't you a little stingy with your words? Zhao Ying pursed her lips and looked at Yang Ming with a smile. According to what you said, I can't have a boyfriend in the future. This. Yang Ming didn't know why Zhao Ying asked this, but Zhao Ying had another boyfriend. This was something that Yang Ming absolutely couldn't tolerate. Don't worry. I haven't thought about finding a boyfriend yet. Zhao Ying saw that Yang Ming was embarrassed, and she couldn't help but feel proud. She really liked this feeling. Yang Ming cared about her feelings, so she deliberately asked to satisfy her little vanity. Although she couldn't be with Yang Ming, she could always feel his concern for her. It was also a very enjoyable thing, wasn't it? Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief and had a very relaxed feeling. My relationship with Xiao Ying is too weird, right? It's very late. Let's go back. Xiao Ying looked at the time and suggested, you still have classes tomorrow, right? Okay. Yang Ming nodded. Although he was a little reluctant, he knew that it was impossible to sit in the coffee shop all night. After paying the bill at the bar, Yang Ming drove Xiao Ying back to school. Chapter 340. Back at school, Yang Ming's heart was very melancholy. Although Xiao Ying was still close to him, the feeling of being distant made Yang Ming feel a little lost. He wasn't sure if Xiao Ying still had feelings for him between a man and a woman. Although Xiao Ying still cared about him, care and love were two different things. Siblings could also care about each other, but that was different from the care between lovers. However, aside from this matter, Yang Ming's gain today was still great. At least, he knew Qin Mingyan's thoughts. He also knew that Jin Gang and Xiao Ying had no other relationship. Back from your date. Zhang Bin looked at Yang Ming very lasciviously. He wanted to see something from his face. 2 hours was enough to do a lot of things. Don't look at me with your lascivious eyes. My relationship with Sister Ying is very pure. Yang Ming felt a chill. I understand. I understand. Zhang Bin nodded. He had a look of, don't worry. I know. I won't say it. I really admire you. Sister Ying looked for me just to talk about Qin Mengyan. Yang Ming said with a bitter smile. Qin Mengyan. Right, bro, you and Qin Mengyan should have a solution, right? Zhang Bin asked. Today, a third-year guy sent flowers to sister-in-law. A third year? What did he do? Yang Ming frowned. In the classroom. Yeah, just before class this morning, a third-year guy, I think his name is Zhou Ruoguang. I heard that he is the student council president of the Department of Economics and Management. Zhang Bin said, this guy seems to be very popular. He has a lot of female fans. A lot of female fans. Why? Yang Ming asked curiously, because he's the student council president of your department? That's not the case. He's good-looking. Most importantly, this guy started his own business when he was in college. Now, he already owns a large company. Zhang Bin said, nowadays, many girls in universities are very realistic. What's the use of being the president of the student council? It's just a title. What they value is a man's talent and money in his hands. What was Qin Mengyan's reaction? Although Yang Ming knew that Qin Mengyan wouldn't accept the flowers from Zhou Ruoguang, he couldn't help but ask. Boss, there are too few girls like Qin Mengyan who are not greedy for vanity. You know, being Zhou Ruoguang's girlfriend is a very cool thing, but Qin Mengyan just politely refused him. Zhang Bin shook his head and said. Damn, Zhang Bin, your uncle. What do you mean? It's as if I'm not as good as that Zhou Ruoguang. Yang Ming was angry when he heard it. It was as if he was bad. That's not it. Who doesn't know that you are the strongest, boss? That Zhou Ruoguang is just a feather in front of you. You have 5 million in your hand. You are much richer than that Zhou Ruoguang. How dare he compete with the light of the moon? Zhang Bin smiled. Then what happened? That Zhou Ruoguang gave up just like that? Asked Yang Ming. I don't know, but his expression wasn't very good. I guess he wouldn't give up. Zhang Bin said. Don't care about him. Chen Mengyan has a lot of flies around her. He's just one more. Yang Ming didn't care much. As long as he didn't take any extreme measures, Yang Ming couldn't interfere with others. Boss, are you sure? Zhang Bin immediately asked when he heard it. I'm not sure, but after listening to Sister Ying's analysis today, I don't think the problem should be big. Yang Ming was a little proud of what Zhao Ying said to Zhang Bin. That's right, bro. After hearing what you said, I think so too. Zhang Bin nodded after listening and said, why don't you take action first? I think so too. I plan to go to her tomorrow. Zhao Ying's words today made Yang Ming determined. He thought that Chen Mengyan didn't reply to him because she didn't think it through. However, with Zhao Ying's analysis, Yang Ming felt that maybe it was as she said. Chen Mengyan was shy and embarrassed to take the initiative to contact him. Damn, he dared to hit me with a wine bottle. Wu Xinkai scolded fiercely, Bai Hai, what is that kid's background? Brother Kai, that kid dared to hit you. I think he is tired of living. Bai Hai was also very angry. He was about to be promoted, but Yang Ming ruined it. How could he not be angry? Who knows? It seems that he may be a student of our school. I know that person. His name is Yang Ming. Gu Xinyao interrupted, yes, he is indeed a student of our school. He fought with the president of our school's Taekwondo club. Taekwondo club. Or the president. Is this Yang Ming very good? Bai Hai was shocked after listening. Although he was a little punk, he was also afraid of people who could fight. TSK, what's so good about him? Gu Xinyao smiled and told the story of Yang Ming's victory. Fuck, he is totally a clown. Wu Xinkai scolded after listening, Gu Xinyao, do you know which school he is from? I know. He is from our school's computer science department. Like me, he is a freshman. Gu Xinyao nodded and said, Brother Kai, this person is really hateful. You can't let him go. Gu Xinyao, this chick, was really hateful. It had nothing to do with her, but she liked to stir up trouble. Yes. Damn it, if I let him go, he will think that I, Wu Xinkai, am easy to bully. Now, who in Songjiang City can stand shoulder to shoulder with Brother Bao? We are all following Brother Bao. We can't embarrass him. Wu Xinkai slammed the table and said, if it wasn't for the policewoman, that kid would definitely not be able to get out of this door. Yes, in that case, Lin Jiyun would also become Brother Kai's woman. Gu Xinyao added fuel to the fire. Tomorrow morning, I will go and fuck him up. Wu Xinkai was immediately fired up. Damn, he dares to steal my woman. Yes, he doesn't know how to spell the word death. Bai Hai also echoed, do we need to tell Brother Bao about this? For such a small matter, why bother the boss? Wu Xinkai was very uncomfortable with the question. He glared and said, I can make the decision. Brother Bao is now very busy. The underworld of Songjiang City has just been integrated. How can he have so much time to care about these trivial matters? That's right, that's right. For such a small matter, Brother Kai can make the decision. Besides, this Didi Bar is Brother Kai's territory. Bai Hai noticed that his words made Wu Xinkai unhappy, so he quickly remedied it. Yes, then that's it. Gu Xinyao, you lead the way tomorrow and kill that kid. Wu Xinkai nodded with satisfaction and said, Bai Hai, you tell Baldy and the others in a while to prepare the weapons. Tomorrow morning, we will do something. Okay, Brother Kai. Bai Hai nodded and then said to Gu Xinyao, you find a single room to sleep for a while. I will discuss something with the brothers. Okay, then you come quickly. Gu Xinyao's eyes were full of charm as she nodded. You go first. I will come later. Bai Hai waved his hand and said. Gu Xinyao wasn't very beautiful. Bai Hai wasn't very interested in her. It was just that this chick's family was rich. Bai Hai could get a lot of money by being with her. After Gu Xinyao left, Bai Hai began to discuss with the other brothers about teaching Yang Ming a lesson tomorrow morning. Gu Xinyao lay in the private room and waited for Bai Hai to come. Gu Xinyao also saw that Bai Hai didn't like to do it with her. He would rather do it with the bar lady than her. But Gu Xinyao liked a man like Bai Hai. If a man wasn't bad, wouldn't a woman like him? Suddenly, the door was opened. Gu Xinyao was delighted. She looked up and was about to call the name Bai Hai, but she saw Wu Xinkai come in with the smell of alcohol. Brother Kai, why are you here? Gu Xinyao was stunned and asked curiously. Do you want to have some fun with Brother Kai? Wu Xinkai came over drunkenly and hugged Gu Xinyao. Brother Kai, Bai Hai is outside. Gu Xinyao said in a hesitant manner. She wasn't a good woman who followed the 3 obediences and 4 virtues. She was just a woman who advocated violence and pleasure. Bai Hai went to find the brothers to discuss how to teach that Yang Ming a lesson. Brother Kai said indifferently, to be honest, Brother Kai, I have long wanted to fuck a student like you. Brother Kai, what are you talking about? I'm embarrassed. Looking at Wu Xinkai's strong body, Gu Xinyao began to be infatuated. You will be embarrassed in a while. Brother Kai will let you take a plane and go to the clouds for free. Wu Xinkai smiled and began to take off his clothes. Then, under Gu Xinyao's half-hearted resistance, he got on the bed. Chapter 341. Ah! Gu Xinyao shouted comfortably, Brother Kai, you're great. How is it? Isn't it better than Bai Hai, that little matchstick? Wu Xinkai said proudly. Brother Kai, hurry up. I can't take it anymore. Gu Xinyao began to act recklessly. But, she despised him in her heart. Bai Hai is better than you. You're not that good either. You're pretty but useless. Bai Hai told his brothers what to do tomorrow. He wanted to drink with them, but he was a little short of money recently, so he thought of Gu Xinyao in the private room. If I serve that little girl well, won't my money come in? Thinking of this, Bai Hai lifted his leg and walked to the private room. However, when he walked to the door, Bai Hai felt that something was wrong. He was familiar with the sound of a woman moaning in bed. It's Gu Xinyao's voice. Could it be that this chick is touching herself? However, then Bai Hai heard a man's voice, how is it? Isn't it better than Bai Hai, that little matchstick? This is Wu Xinkai. Bai Hai's anger surged into his heart. Yes, although he didn't care much about Gu Xinyao, this chick, and Gu Xinyao wasn't a virgin before, but now Gu Xinyao was his woman after all. In front of him, she made a cuckold out of him. This was something that a man with courage couldn't tolerate. Bai Hai really wanted to kick the door panel and catch this adulterer on the spot, but he was a smart person, not a fool. He knew that the consequences of doing this would be a complete fallout with Wu Xinkai. Then, whether he could leave this bar tonight was another matter. After hesitating, Bai Hai gritted his teeth and endured it. Bai Hai gently pushed open the door of the private room. This Wu Xinkai is overbearing. He didn't even lock the door for his brother's woman. Bai Hai took out the latest Nokia N98 mobile phone that Gu Xinyao bought for him. He adjusted the license plate mode and quickly took a few photos of Wu Xinkai and Gu Xinyao. He also took a short video before he closed the door and left. A vicious plan instantly formed in Bai Hai's mind. When he watched a scene in the movie, The Young and Dangerous, it gave Bai Hai a lot of inspiration. Every industry had its own rules. The underworld was the same, and the rules of the underworld were even stricter than many industries. Sleeping with your brother's woman, this was a big taboo. Of course, if the people didn't report it, the officials wouldn't report it. This kind of thing happened quite often in many gangs. However, it was a different matter when the evidence was taken out and placed in the open. Yes, Bai wanted to make an issue of this matter. He was a despicable person, an out-and-out despicable person. In order to climb up the ranks, he would do anything. However, he wasn't a petty person who only cared about profit. If you're heartless, I'll be more unjust than you. This was Bai Hai's principle. Moreover, Bai Hai felt that he did not owe Wu Xinkai anything. He had done his best. At least, before this, he did not think of stepping on Wu Xinkai's head to advance. Although he didn't care much about Gu Xinyao, what did he care about the most when he came out to mingle? Wu Xinkai, you're obviously not putting me, Bai Hai, in your eyes. Brother Kai, after you get Lin Jiyun, can you really recommend Bai Hai to be the boss? Although Gu Xinyao was pleasured by Wu Xinkai, she was just venting her desire. She knew that she still had to be with Bai Hai in the future. So, she had to think for Bai Hai. Wu Xinkai was pleasured, so he didn't guard against it. He said directly, how is that possible? Will Brother Bao listen to me? I'm just a little boss of a bar. How can I let Brother Bao arrange people? I'm just playing with him. Gu Xinyao frowned, but she still cooperated and continued to moan. Motherfucker, Wu Xinkai. Bai Hai was really angry this time. Motherfucker, are you playing with me? Motherfucker, if you can't talk, why are you pretending? Bai Hai gritted his teeth and resisted the urge to go in and beat Wu Xinkai up. He walked to the bathroom. He couldn't stand here for too long. Otherwise, it would arouse other people's suspicion. However, Gu Xinyao, this bitch, still has feelings. At this time, she still knows to help me. It's not wrong for me. It's a joke to talk about the 3 obediences and 4 virtues with a little delinquent girl. So, Bai Hai didn't care much about this matter. He was just annoyed with Wu Xinkai's attitude towards him. After smoking a cigarette, he estimated that it was almost time. Bai Hai just walked out of the bathroom. Bai Hai knew how long Wu Xinkai took to do things. That guy was like a silver spear. It was done in a while. Sure enough, when Bai Hai went back, Wu Xinkai had already come out. When he saw Bai Hai coming over, he patted his shoulder happily. He thought that Bai Hai didn't notice. Is everything done? Don't worry, Brother Kai. Tomorrow, I will deal with that kid. Bai Hai said fiercely. Good job. Right, sister-in-law is still waiting for you in the room. Go quickly. Don't let her wait. Wu Xinkai said with a smile. It's you who can't do it. You didn't feed her well, right? Bai Hai looked at Wu Xinkai with contempt, but there was no expression on his face. Okay, then I will go first, Brother Kai. Go ahead, go ahead. Wu Xinkai thought, this chick is really fucking flirtatious. She seems to be pure, but in fact, she is lascivious. Bai Hai held back his anger and made himself look normal. He pushed the door and walked into the private room where Gu Xinyao was. Then, he turned around and locked the door. Bai Hai, come on. I have been waiting for you for a long time. Gu Xinyao was made by Wu Xinkai. She was burning with desire. Hee, is it because Wu Xinkai didn't satisfy you? Bai Hai smiled coldly. Ah! Gu Xinyao was stunned. The desire on her body disappeared instantly. Bai Hai knew about it. Hee, you are quite flirtatious. Bai Hai walked over and stared at Gu Xinyao. Brother Hai, sorry. I couldn't do anything about the situation at the time. Gu Xinyao shook her head and said, besides, I have you in my heart. I just asked for you. Brother Kai is a bastard. He is not going to promote you. Don't call him Brother Kai. He doesn't deserve it. Bai Hai said coldly, if I didn't hear your words, do you think I would still keep you? Hee, good. You let me see the essence of Wu Xinkai. Brother Hai, anyway, Kai. Wu Xinkai is wearing a condom. It's nothing to be touched by him. You don't care about this, right? Gu Xinyao said, do you still care about this when you are mingling with others? I have already showered. Besides, he is far worse than you. Gu Xinyao, let me tell you. Wu Xinkai wanted to rape you. Do you know that? Bai Hai suddenly said. Rape? Brother Hai, you mean? Gu Xinyao, this chick, was used to being shady. She suddenly thought of Bai Hai's meaning. You want to use this to bring down Wu Xinkai. But what if he doesn't admit it? Hee, don't admit it. Bai Hai took out the Nokia mobile phone and threw it on the bed. Look at it yourself. Gu Xinyao took the mobile phone and pulled up the photos and videos inside. She looked at them a few times and her face was a little ashamed. Then she clenched her teeth and said firmly, okay, Brother Hai, I am on your side. Not bad. I didn't treat you in vain. Bai Hai nodded with satisfaction. Wu Xinkai, that soft-footed shrimp, didn't serve you well, right? Little slut, come on. Let me reward you. Ah, Brother Hai, come on. Gu Xinyao screamed and hugged Bai Hai. Brother Hai, when you get promoted in the future, you can't abandon me, right? Hee, you are a meritorious person. Besides, you are more insidious than me. I have to keep you by my side to help me deal with those enemies. Bai Hai said. There was a lascivious moan in the room. Wu Xinkai still didn't know that he had been schemed against. He was lying comfortably on the bed, smoking a cigarette and enjoying the lady's massage. He didn't know that waiting for him would be the most severe punishment. Early the next morning, Gu Xinyao and Bai Hai were like nothing happened. When they saw Wu Xinkai, they immediately greeted him, Brother Kai, are we leaving now? Let's go. Let's go find that Yang. Yang something. Fuck, let's call him Prick Yang. Wu Xinkai forgot the name of Yang Ming. Yes, let's go and teach that Prick Yang a lesson. The three underlings who were ready to go together quickly agreed. Yang Ming was very happy today. He had a good sleep last night. In the morning, he took the limited edition Disney doll set that he bought for Chen Mengyan and was ready to find Chen Mengyan to make peace. Chapter 342. It's him. He's over there. Gu Xinyao pointed in the direction of Yang Ming and said loudly. Yes, it's him. Wu Xinkai spat on the ground, waved his hand and said, brothers, that's the one. Forcing Yang. Yang Ming was happy. Suddenly, three people who looked like punks rushed in front of him. If it was the usual Yang Ming, he would have kicked each of them. Are you pretending to be ghosts? Who are you trying to scare by standing in front of me? But today, Yang Ming was in a good mood, so he didn't abuse these three guys who didn't have eyes. He just said impatiently, where are you guys from? Don't stand in front of me. Are you forcing Yang? One of the punks asked. You're the fucking one forcing him. Yang Ming said with some annoyance. He had never seen a person who asked if someone was forcing him when they met. Did this guy have his head pierced? You're not. The punk was a little inexplicable. Did he recognize the wrong person? That's right. Didn't the boss say that he was forcing Yang? Wasn't he the one who was beaten up? Fuck off. You're the one forcing him. Yang Ming really wanted to kick people. Fuck, big intestine, don't talk nonsense with him. It's this guy. The punk next to him had already reacted to what was going on. Only the punk who asked the question didn't understand. Wait, why are you looking for me? Yang Ming saw these three punks talking one after another, and he was somewhat inexplicable. Fuck, kid, you're finished. Do you know? The punk next to the big intestine pointed at Yang Ming and said, you offended someone you shouldn't have offended and can't afford to offend in your life. Who is that person? It seems that he hasn't been born yet, right? Yang Ming said disdainfully. Can't afford to offend. Is there a mistake? Kid, what are you talking about? You dare to insult Brother Kai. Brothers, beat him up. The big intestine understood this time. Yang Ming was scolding Brother Kai, so it jumped out in a hurry. Fuck you, you idiot. Yang Ming threw a slap at Chang Chang's face, causing him to spin on the ground and fly 3 meters away, lying on the ground, unable to move. Yang Ming was really angry today. He was in a hurry to go to Chen Mingyan's dormitory, but these annoying guys kept wasting time with him. How could Yang Ming not be angry? Ah. When the other two punks saw that Yang Ming dealt with the large intestine, they felt a little guilty. They immediately shouted to the back, Brother Kai, Brother Hai, this kid is quite powerful. Fuck. There are so many of us, what's there to be afraid of? Wu Xinkai didn't feel that Yang Ming was very powerful. He was 188 meters tall, taller than Yang Ming by a head. It's you. Yang Ming recognized Wu Xinkai, and then said mockingly, do you want your head to be smashed? Kid, you were quite evil yesterday. You actually found a police officer to smash the place with you. Wu Xinkai clenched his teeth and said, however, you won't be so lucky today. Why don't you continue to find your police friend? If it wasn't for her yesterday, do you think you can still stand here and talk to me? Yang Ming thought it was a bit funny. I guess this guy still doesn't know what's going on. Is he feeling good about himself here? Yesterday, if it wasn't for Xia Shui following behind, maybe I would have overturned the Didi bar. Daring to treat Lin Jiyun like this is courting death. Yang Ming had the thought of crippling Wu Xinkai yesterday. Yes, when he saw Lin Jiyun fall to the ground in pain, Yang Ming had the intention to kill. Kid, it's useless to have a good mouth. I'll give you a chance. Fight with me one-on-one. Wu Xinkai said casually. Fuck off. One-on-one. You don't deserve it. Yang Ming didn't wait for him to finish. He kicked his stomach. Yang Ming's leg strength was very vicious. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to master the Yang-style flying kick. Especially after a while, when he kicked the tree, it became even more overbearing. The kick just now also used strength, so Wu Xinkai flew out directly. He fell to the ground with a bang. His mouth and nose were bubbling with blood. Apparently, he was seriously injured. Yang Ming also had a backup plan. He knew that no matter how he kicked Wu Xinkai, nothing would happen to him. Because he was in the right. Today was different from yesterday. Yesterday, in the bar, he was fighting. But today, it was the punks who came to the school looking for trouble. This was a social taboo. Yang Ming beating up the punks was to defend the safety of the school. Not only would the school come forward to protect him, but other people would also side with him. Of course, this was the premise that the punks called the police. However, Yang Ming felt that these people wouldn't call the police at all. So, he was even more fearless. Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao were dumbfounded. Isn't this too strong? He defeated 2 people in 2 moves, and both of them made the other party lose the ability to fight back. Gu Xinyao had some regrets. Why is Lin Jiyun's boyfriend so badass? I didn't hear about it before. Can he retaliate against me in the future? Bai Hai was even more surprised. However, what he was thinking about was whether he could pull Yang Ming over. In this way, his strength would increase greatly. As for Wu Xinkai, he didn't care about his life. Why? Do you want to fight one-on-one? Yang Ming glanced at Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao contemptuously. Ugh. No. Bai Hai didn't dare to fight one-on-one. Yang Ming's gang fight might not win, let alone one-on-one. Isn't that looking for death? Misunderstanding. This is Wu Xinkai's idea. I don't agree with it. But I'm his underling, so I can only follow him. Listening to your tone, you don't seem to regard him as your boss. Yang Ming said with some ridicule. He doesn't deserve to be my boss. Bai Hai had decided to fall out with Wu Xinkai. There was no need to offend Yang Ming because of him, so he spoke unscrupulously. However, the two little punks who weren't beaten down by Yang Ming looked at the military advisor next to Brother Kai in surprise. He wants to betray Brother Kai. It seems that your internal conflict is quite big. Yang Ming snorted. Since you were forced, then I will keep you. However, you should take care of your own woman. I haven't hit a woman for a long time. I don't mind making an exception. Yang Ming. Brother, I won't have any ideas about Lin Jiyun anymore. Gu Xinyao immediately nodded and said. However, brother, I have something to remind you. Although Wu Xinkai is almost finished, he is Brother Bao's underling. If Brother Bao knows that you hit his underling, he will definitely not let it go. Wu Xinkai wouldn't be able to get out of bed for a few months, so Bai Hai simply spoke bluntly. He wanted to win over Yang Ming, so he said, but I will try my best to speak for you because I am optimistic about you. Brother Bao. Which Brother Bao? Yang Ming smiled and asked faintly, Bao Sanli. Bro, do you know Brother Bao? Bai Hai was shocked and asked quickly. He didn't think that Yang Ming was deliberately scaring him because only the people in the gang knew Brother Bao's real name. Outsiders certainly wouldn't be so clear. You can go back and tell Bao Sanli that it was me, Yang Ming, who beat Wu Xinkai up like this. Yang Ming said indifferently. Bai Hai thought, I don't need to say anything today. Someone will definitely tell Brother Bao. However, this Yang Ming is so calm. Could it be that he has a relationship with Brother Bao? Just now, he wanted to win over Yang Ming's heart, but now he wanted to curry favor with him. Yes, Bai Hai was such a villain. As long as it was beneficial to him, he wouldn't mind pretending to be a coward. Brother Yang, you seem to be very familiar with Brother Bao. Bai Hai asked tentatively. It's all right. We were in the same cell before. Yang Ming looked at Bai Hai and said. He thought, it seems that this guy is a talent. I don't know what his character is like. If he isn't so rebellious, I can use him. See. Bai Hai took a deep breath. Although he was a punk, he hadn't been in a cell before. This college student actually went in before. However, looking at his ruthless means, he really looks like a ruthless character. Could it be that he has turned over a new leaf? The few punks who followed immediately changed their eyes when they looked at Yang Ming. They instantly became respectful. That was the ultimate boss friend. How could they, as little punks, shake him? Brother Yang, I'm sorry about today. I, Bai Hai, am apologizing to you. As Bai Hai said this, he bowed deeply to Yang Ming and said to Gu Xinyao, why aren't you greeting Brother Yang? Brother Yang. Gu Xinyao was convinced this time. The person in front of me is really a ruthless person. Don't bully Lin Jiyun in the future. She is kind, but it doesn't mean that I am a good person. You think about the consequences yourself. Yang Ming looked at Gu Xinyao and warned her. I won't, Brother Yang. You can rest assured. From today onwards, Lin Jiyun, sister-in-law, is my big sister. I'll follow her. Gu Xinyao hurriedly promised. Chapter 343. Yang Ming couldn't help but laugh when he heard Gu Xinyao's words. This chick is quite flexible. However, since she didn't bully Lin Jiyun, Yang Ming was relieved. It seemed that this Gu Xinyao had a boyfriend who mingled in the society. She was quite arrogant in school. In this way, she could protect Lin Jiyun in disguise. Therefore, Yang Ming didn't intend to continue to pursue her. She was just a bitch. There was no need to argue with her. And Jiyun's character is relatively kind. You help me take care of her. If someone bullies her, you know what to do, right? Don't worry, Brother Yang. Leave this to me. Gu Xinyao nodded happily. She was also very clear about the current situation. Yang Ming was a ruthless person. Even Brother Bao could speak to him. Then, she definitely had to climb up to him. However, Gu Xinyao also understood that Yang Ming definitely wouldn't be interested in her third-rate beauty. He liked Lin Jiyun, so Gu Xinyao didn't want to humiliate herself. It was better to serve Lin Jiyun well and leave a good impression on Yang Ming. However, this Yang Ming was quite good at fighting. It was definitely right for her and Bai Hai to take care of him well. Right, listening to what you just said, do you have a conflict with Wu Xinkai? Yang Ming glanced at Bai Hai. This kid is quite smart. If it was possible, it wouldn't be bad to give him some pointers. Yes, Brother Yang, can I have a word with you? Bai Hai glanced at the two underlings who hadn't fallen to the ground and said, What are you doing? Hurry up and take Wu Xinkai and De Chong to the hospital. Do you want them to die here? Oh, yes. No matter what the conflict between Bai Hai and Wu Xinkai was, after all, Bai Hai was still Wu Xinkai's military advisor and the second boss of the bar. So, the two underlings didn't dare to disobey his words. Let's go. I just happen to want to go to the female dormitory. Let's talk while we walk. Yang Ming glanced at the time. Fortunately, he left early. Fortunately, there was still time. Chen Mengyan shouldn't have gone out yet. Bai Hai's mind had been active since the beginning. Yes, I do have evidence to expose Wu Xinkai seducing the second sister-in-law, but if Wu Xinkai doesn't admit it and says that Gu Xinyao seduced him, what should I do? After all, the two of them were half convinced, so it was hard for them to make things clear. However, at this time, if there was a heavyweight character to speak, then Wu Xinkai's SS downfall would become inevitable. And this person had appeared now. He was Yang Ming, Brother Bao's friend. If Yang Ming could say a few words for me, then it would be more useful than these so-called evidence. Therefore, Bai Hai was also ready to tell the truth to Yang Ming. Brother Yang, this Wu Xinkai didn't treat me as a person at all. Bai Hai said with some resentment. He not only forced himself on Gu Xinyao, but he also gave me a lot of empty promises. Bai Hai said Wu Xinkai's actions with some exaggeration. Yang Ming naturally didn't believe his words, but since he dared to say so, it was certainly not a groundless accusation, so he asked, Do you have evidence? Yes. Bai Hai took out the Nokia N from his pocket and handed it to Yang Ming. This thing is quite high-end. How do I use it? Yang Ming asked with a smile. Although Yang Ming's question was somewhat ridiculous and even old-fashioned, Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao didn't dare to underestimate him. He had the strength. He could seriously injure people with just a slap or a kick. Who dared to underestimate such a person? This is how to use it. Bai Hai quickly helped Yang Ming pull up the photos and videos inside, and then pretended to be casual and said, "This model is new. I haven't really understood it after playing with it for so many days." This undoubtedly showed that it was normal for Yang Ming to not know how to use it. He had bought it for so long, but he had just gotten the hang of it. Yang Ming nodded calmly. He thought, this kid is smart enough. It seems that I really lack such a person around me. Ho Jinhan was brave and resourceful, but it was an open conspiracy. Although he would help Yang Ming do some conspiracies, he wasn't suitable for using tricks. This Bai Hai was not a bad choice, especially with his wife. The two of them were born to play tricks on others. "Oh, is this coercion?" Yang Ming looked at the video and said, "It seems that you are enjoying it, right?" Gu Xinyao immediately blushed and said embarrassedly, "I'm not a little virgin." "Of course, there will be a physiological reaction. I'll reluctantly believe your words." Yang Ming looked at Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao and said, "But Bai Hai, isn't your way of promotion not very glorious? You say, in the future, shouldn't Brother Bao also guard against you?" "This. I don't want to hide it from Brother Yang. I, Bai Hai, am not a gentleman. I'm a villain. But I'm also a real villain." Bai Hai said sincerely, "Before yesterday, I didn't have any thoughts of going against Wu Xinkai. Instead, when I heard that he wanted to recommend me, I was grateful to him. I have been helping him by his side. But since he was unkind to me first, he can't blame me for being unjust. I said that I, Bai Hai, am a villain. Don't expect me to be loyal to a person who betrays me. I'm not Yu Fei. I only know that whoever is good to me, I will be loyal to him." Yang Ming nodded. No one is perfect. It is impossible to find such a person who plays tricks and make him loyal. Only absolute deterrence and enough temptation can make him loyal. This kind of person should be kept for the time being. "Okay, I will help you with this today, but you have to remember that I'm not Wu Xinkai. Don't expect to have any conspiracy against me. That will make you die miserably." Yang Ming finished faintly. He took out his mobile phone and found Bao Sonli's phone number, but it just happened that the battery was low. "Brother Yang, use mine to call." Bai Hai quickly handed his mobile phone to Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't refuse. He entered Bao Sonli's number and dialed it. "Brother Bao, I am Yang Ming." Yang Ming directly reported his name. "Brother Yang, it's you." Bao Sonli was now the big brother of Songjiang City. Naturally, he wouldn't call Yang Ming Brother Yang. However, he was still very grateful to Yang Ming. At least, it was Yang Ming who introduced Ho Jinhan to him, which reversed the whole situation. Otherwise, he would have become a stray dog now. Yang Ming didn't care. He also knew Bao Sonli's current situation, so he wouldn't care about this. "Brother Bao, do you have an underling named Wu Xinkai?" However, Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao were very concerned. Brother Bao actually called the person in front of them a brother. This was enough to prove that Yang Ming was a very important existence in front of Brother Bao. Because Bai Hai usually answered the phone in the bar, the environment was very noisy, so he turned the volume of the mobile phone to the maximum. It was precisely because of this that they could hear Bao Sonli's words clearly. "Wu Xinkai." Bao Sonli hesitated. He had so many underlings. To be honest, it was difficult to remember all of them. But fortunately, there was a reminder on the side, so Bao Sonli reacted, "Wu Xinkai of Didi Bar. What happened to him? This person was beaten up by me. He probably won't be able to get up for half a year. I'm here to apologize to Brother Bao." Yang Ming smiled. There was no intention of apologizing in his tone. "Motherfucker, this kid provoked Brother Yang. Beating him up is considered light. Why are we brothers apologizing? Bao Sanli scolded Wu Xinkai and said, "What is there to say about this small matter? How about it? Do you have time to visit your brother? I'm in the limelight now. Hee, there are a lot of things recently. I will visit another day." Yang Ming said with a smile, "Right, Brother Bao, there is one more thing. This Wu Xinkai had bad intentions towards my girlfriend. Fortunately, a person named Bai Hai stopped it in time. Otherwise, this Bai Hai is a good person. He is quite upright. You can let him be more tolerant." "No problem. Brother Yang, you have spoken. If I don't give you face, then I am nothing." Bao Sanli immediately promised, "You ask him to come to the Nightless Club to find me. He will come over in a while." "That's fine. I will trouble Brother Bao with this matter. I will visit you another day," Yang Ming said. "Okay, I will wait for you," Bao Sanli said. After hanging up the phone, Yang Ming handed the phone back to Bai Hai. Bai Hai said flatteringly, "Brother Yang, your phone is out of battery. You can use mine first. I am not in a hurry. I will buy another one later. But Brother Yang, if you have something important, don't delay it." Bai Hai heard the conversation between Yang Ming and Bao Sanli clearly. He couldn't find a chance to flatter Yang Ming now. "Oh. You have evidence here. If you give it to me, what will you do?" Yang Ming took the phone back without hesitation. "This color, it seems to be quite new. The protective film on the screen hasn't been torn off yet. With Brother Yang's words, this evidence is useless," Bai Hai said flatteringly. Chapter 344. You heard it all. Yang Ming smiled. "And, the volume of this phone is a bit loud. Brother Yang, you can turn it down later." Bai Hai smiled. "If this is the case, then I won't repeat it. You can go to Brother Bao in a while." Yang Ming nodded and put the phone into his pocket. He thought, "You really know how to do things. Brother Yang, Bai Hai owes you a favor. In the future, Brother Bao is my boss, and you are my other boss." Bai Hai sincerely bowed to Yang Ming. It was more formal than the previous flattering bow. "Okay, do a good job." Yang Ming nodded to him. "That. Brother Yang, can you take my phone?" Bai Hai suddenly thought of something. "Oh, you want to delete the video, right?" Yang Ming said suddenly. "Not this. I mean, Brother Yang, can you give me my SIM card?" Bai Hai shook his head and said. "You are talking about this." Yang Ming took out the phone and opened the back cover. He took out the SIM card and handed it to Bai Hai. Then, he inserted his own SIM card. "That video, Brother Yang, if you like it, you can keep it for yourself." Gu Xinyao said with some charm, "If Brother Yang really wants me," Yang Ming frowned. He couldn't help but have a layer of goosebumps. He looked at Bai Hai. Although he was embarrassed, he couldn't do anything. "Gu Xinyao, do you know what kind of woman I hate the most?" Yang Ming said faintly. "Ah. Gu Xinyao was shocked. She quickly put away her charm. At that moment, she was really fascinated by Yang Ming. Women don't need to be too pure, but they can't be fickle. You are now Bai Hai's woman. You have to remember this. I don't want to see the things I hate happen again." Yang Ming glanced at Gu Xinyao coldly. "I got it, Brother Yang." Gu Xinyao nodded quickly. "Okay, I am going to pick up the girl. You two hurry up and leave." Yang Ming saw Chen Mengyan coming out of the dormitory. He quickly picked up the gift in his hand and said to the two people next to him. "Ah. Then we won't bother Brother Yang. Although Bai Hai and Gu Xinyao said so, it was very strange. Didn't Yang Ming like Lin Jiyun? The girl who came out now isn't Jiyun, right? Although, she is also so beautiful. However, since he had determined that Yang Ming wasn't an ordinary person, then Bai Hai was not surprised. Gu Xinyao was even more ashamed. With my appearance, I still dare to recommend myself. Look at the women around Yang Ming. Which one of them isn't the best? However, before Yang Ming walked in front of her, there was a guy who was faster than Yang Ming. He suddenly came out and ran to Chen Mengyan with a bouquet of roses in his hand. Chen Mengyan, this is for you. You are so beautiful today. The person who came was Zhou Ruoguang, the student council president of the School of Economics and Management. Sorry, I can't accept it. Chen Mengyan did dress up carefully today because last night, Xiaoying called her and told her that Yang Ming might come to her in 2 days. Chen Mengyan was very excited at that time. Although she scolded Yang Ming as an ungrateful heartless man, her heart was very sweet. He is finally willing to come to me. During this time, Chen Mengyan also figured it out. How is Lan Ling? Didn't she go back to Yunnan now? It is not certain when she will come back. I am Yang Ming's real girlfriend. Isn't it a waste of time and youth to drag it on like this? However, she couldn't compromise with Yang Ming first. Now, hearing Xiaoying say that Yang Ming was going to come to her, how could Chen Mengyan not be happy? Looking at her haggard appearance in the mirror, Chen Mengyan frowned for a while. She quickly made a facial mask before going to bed. In the morning, she got up early and dressed up carefully. She deliberately changed her hair into a more youthful hairstyle. Although Chen Mengyan was not willing to admit that she did this for Yang Ming who she was about to meet, a woman would dress up for her lover. This was a fact that could not be changed. Chen Mengyan was in a good mood today. In addition, she deliberately dressed up, so her whole person exuded a different kind of spirit. Originally, Zhou Ruoguang already felt that Chen Mengyan was beautiful enough. It was just that before, he felt that she was a little sick Lin Daiyu. Today, when he saw her, her whole person became youthful and sunny. Zhou Ruoguang's gaze toward Chen Mengyan couldn't help but become more infatuated. Motherfucker, you even sent flowers to the door of the dormitory. You are still looking at my wife like this. Who are you? Yang Ming was a little angry. He walked directly to Zhou Ruoguang, grabbed the flowers in his hand, and said, I will accept these flowers for her. You can get lost. Chen Mengyan suddenly saw Yang Ming appear, and her face was suddenly happy. However, when she thought of her relationship with him, she couldn't help but put on a serious face. This is for you, Mengyan. You are so beautiful today. Yang Ming handed the roses to Chen Mengyan. Chen Mengyan finally couldn't help but laugh. You really know how to give Buddha with borrowed flowers, right? You even gave it to me in front of me. Is there anyone like you? Although she said that, Chen Mengyan still reached out and took it. Of course, there is still a gift. The real gift is here, dang 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 dang. Yang Ming wanted to take out the Disney doll set behind him, but he suddenly heard an annoying voice. Just now, Zhou Ruoguang looked at Chen Mengyan in a daze. He didn't even realize that Yang Ming had taken the flowers from his hand. However, it didn't take long for him to react. Who are you? Why did you take my flowers? Who took your flowers? Aren't you giving flowers to my wife? I will accept it for her. Yang Ming said with some impatience. Why does this person have no eyesight at all? Normally, when people see this situation, wouldn't it be fine to leave quickly? Chen Mengyan, who is he? Zhou Ruoguang pointed at Yang Ming and asked. Don't point at me. Yang Ming glared at Zhou Ruoguang with some dissatisfaction. If it weren't for Chen Mengyan in front of him, Yang Ming would have already slapped him. So what if I'm pointing at you? Hurry up and return the flowers to me. Zhou Ruoguang frowned and said. Idiot, your friend is looking for you. Yang Ming angrily pointed at Zhou Ruoguang's back. What? Zhou Ruoguang was stunned. Bai Hai just paid attention to the situation here. He was a smart person, so he understood what was going on after a few glances. Obviously, this Zhou Ruoguang was a person who wanted to harass his sister-in-law. Motherfucker, you dare to interfere when Brother Yang is flirting with a girl. So Bai Hai walked over directly, patted Zhou Ruoguang's shoulder and said, Kid, come here. Let's find a place to talk. Who are you? Zhou Ruoguang looked at Bai Hai's dressing and knew that he wasn't a good person. Especially his ruffian look, it made Zhou Ruoguang a little scared. Come here and you will know. Bai Hai hugged Zhou Ruoguang's shoulder and forcefully pulled him to the corner of the dormitory building. You let go of me. Zhou Ruoguang shouted. Motherfucker. Bai Hai punched Zhou Ruoguang's stomach and said fiercely, If you shout again, I will kill you. Ugh. Zhou Ruoguang groaned and didn't dare to have any objections. Even though Bai Hai was a military advisor, he also came from a fighting background. It was really easy to deal with a college student like Zhou Ruoguang. Who is the person who is looking for Zhou Ruoguang? Why is it a bit strange? Chen Mengyan asked with some doubts. Who knows? His friend. Yang Ming said indifferently. He thought in his heart, this Bai Hai is a talent, an absolute talent. I can't do things that I can't do, but this Bai Hai can come up and help at the right time. Not bad. Friend? I think so. That person doesn't look like a good person. Chen Mengyan frowned and said. Who cares about him? He doesn't look like a good person. Maybe he seduced someone else's wife and let them come to him. Yang Ming was telling the truth. This was the truth. However, Chen Mengyan said, nonsense. Right, this is a gift for you. It's for you. Yang Ming was a little unhappy that Zhou Ruoguang ruined the atmosphere. What is this? Ah! Isn't this a Disney doll? Chen Mengyan took the gift from Yang Ming and looked happy. Who told you that I like this? Ah! You really like it? Yang Ming had some doubts. Did Qin Fei really get it right? Or do girls generally like this? That, I'm the worm in your stomach. I know what you are thinking. Yang Ming smiled. Humph, nonsense. Chen Mengyan naturally didn't believe it. If that's the case, you can tell me. What am I thinking now? You are now, definitely thinking about, me. Yang Ming said. You? What about you? Chen Mengyan was stunned and thought that Yang Ming didn't finish his words. Just thinking about me. Yang Ming said seriously. Chapter 345. Who the hell are you? What do you want to do? Zhou Ruoguang was a little panicked. After all, he was a student. He usually ran the company on the right path. He rarely interacted with the underworld people. The guy in front of him almost had "I am the underworld boss" written on his forehead. Paw! A slap on Zhou Ruoguang's face. Little bitch, you dare to harass my boss's woman. I think you want to die, right? Your boss. The man just now is your boss. Zhou Ruoguang was stunned and understood the key to the matter. Fuck, what man? I tell you, if you dare to harass our boss's woman again, you will be dead soon. Bai Hai threatened. I know. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Zhou Ruoguang certainly knew this truth. Humph, kid, if I see you again, you will bear the consequences yourself. Bai Hai patted Zhou Ruoguang's face and said fiercely. Then, he glared at him and left with Gu Xinyao. Bah, what is this? Seeing Bai Hai go away, Zhou Ruoguang spat. Humph, campus underworld. Do you think this is a Hong Kong TV drama? I will report you to the school. Little guy, just wait to be expelled. Zhou Ruoguang adjusted his collar and strode towards his dormitory. A hooligan. It is not worthwhile to be angry with a small character. This kind of person is easy to kill. Bai Hai came to the Nightless Club and talked to the security guard at the door. He was taken to Bao Sanli's office. Ho Zhenhan was also inside. He was discussing something with Bao Sanli. Brother Bao, there is an underling named Bai Hai who is looking for you. Let him in. One of Bao Sanli's followers knocked on the door and asked. Bai Hai. Let him in. Bao Sanli ordered. Bai Hai respectfully pushed the door and walked in. When he saw the two big bosses of the underworld, he quickly greeted, Brother Bao, Brother Ho. And, you are the Bai Hai that Yang Ming mentioned. Bao Sanli glanced at him and asked. Yes, that's me. Bai Hai nodded. Well, you have done a good job in this matter. Our gang is now at the most critical moment for stable development. If the underlings do whatever they want and bully the men and women, then the gang will definitely not have a long-term development. Ho Zhenhan nodded and praised. Yes, that's what I think too. Originally, Bao Sanli wanted to say a few words to Bai Hai. After all, betraying his own boss wasn't a glorious thing. However, when he heard Ho Zhenhan say so, he couldn't say anything more. So, he said, well, Didi Bar will be handed over to you in the future. Don't be like Wu Xinkai, or else I won't forgive you. Thank you, Brother Bao. Thank you, Brother Ho. I will not let you down. Don't worry. Bai Hai quickly promised. Yes. All right, you can go out. Bao Sanli said, I have something to discuss with Brother Ho. Okay, then I'll go over first. Bai Hai left respectfully. This was just a small episode. It didn't affect the topic that Bao Sanli and Ho Zhenhan were talking about. Brother Ho, we are now considered a big gang. Do you think that we should decide on the name of the gang? Asked Bao Sanli. And I will talk to the boss about this issue, but the boss will decide on the name. Ho Zhenhan nodded and said. That's what it should be. Bao Sanli had no objection to this. It didn't matter what the name was. The most important thing was to have a name to the public so that it would be loud. At the beginning of next month, which is New Year's Day, I want to invite celebrities from all over Songjiang to hold a party. What do you think of this idea? Bao Sanli suggested. This is not a problem. After all, we now control the underworld of Songjiang. Many people want to join us, but they can't find the opportunity. This can also give each other a platform. Ho Zhenhan agreed. This matter doesn't need to be discussed with the boss. It's not a big deal. You can decide. Then, we will confirm the invitation list. The relationship between the two people was very strange. Obviously, Bao Sanli was the boss, but he had to discuss things with Ho Zhenhan. Such a strange situation was impossible in other gangs. A boss would never allow such a division of power, but it was different here. Because Bao Sanli and Ho Zhenhan were both loyal to the same boss, the two people didn't compete for power. That didn't make any sense. Brother Hai, how is it? What did Brother Bao say? Gu Xinyao stood in front of the Nightless Club with some excitement and anxiety. When she saw Bai Hai come out, she quickly asked. Brother Ho is very optimistic about me. Bai Hai also knew that Bao Sanli was quite critical of him at the time, but Ho Jinhan first praised him, so he smoothly became the boss of Didi Bar. Bai Hai was very puzzled about this. Ho Jinhan was the second boss. Why do I feel that sometimes his words are better than Brother Bao's? However, it wasn't time for me to participate in the matters of the upper management, so Bai Hai didn't think much about it. So, Brother Bao let me manage Didi Bar. Really? Brother Hai, you are finally a boss. Gu Xinyao was very excited. This is not all because of what Brother Yang said for me. Bai Hai said, so, Gu Xinyao, you have to remember. Don't make Brother Yang angry in the future. You have to be polite to that Lin Jiyun. Brother Hai, you can rest assured. I know what to do. Gu Xinyao nodded and said. Also, you are now the sister-in-law of the underlings. You have to restrain your flirtatious personality in the future. You heard Brother Yang's words. What should you do in the future? Think about it yourself. Bai Hai warned, if you follow me wholeheartedly in the future, then I promise that you will always be my legitimate girl. Brother Hai, I will never do anything wrong to you again. Let's do it this way. When I go back to school, I will go to Taobao to buy an electric console. You are not by my side. If I need it, I will get it myself. Gu Xinyao's worship of power was far greater than her sexual desire. How could she lose her sister-in-law's title because of her little physical satisfaction? And, you can do it yourself. Bai Hai hugged Gu Xinyao's slender waist. I like this about you. You never ask about my private life. Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan came to the school cafeteria side by side. The tacit understanding was that neither of them mentioned anything about making up, but it seemed that the two people were already on the verge of making up. Mengyan, how are you recently? Yang Ming saw that Chen Mengyan didn't speak, so he took the initiative to attack. He remembered Zhao Ying's words. Girls are thin-skinned. That's okay. My skin is thick. Even a machine gun can't penetrate it. Aw. It's okay. Chen Mengyan thought, aren't you asking nonsense? Can I be good? How can I be as comfortable as you? You even went to Hong Kong for a trip. Who was that person just now? Didn't you tell him that you already have a boyfriend? Yang Ming began to talk about the person just now. He is the president of the student union in our department. Why? Didn't Zhang Bin tell you? Chen Mengyan looked at Yang Ming with a smile. Ugh, he said it, but not completely. Yang Ming broke into a sweat. It seems that my little thoughts can't be hidden from Chen Mengyan. With him as a spy, my every move is under your control, right? Chen Mengyan rolled her eyes at Yang Ming. If I really had something with a boy, would you wait until now to find me? Hee hee. I'm just concerned about you. You look at that kid. He doesn't look like a good person. He's probably the same as Wang Jitao. Yang Ming laughed dryly. Then you should know that I didn't talk to him more than 10 sentences. Besides, why did I tell him that I have a boyfriend? Is he related to me? Chen Mengyan snorted. Do you think I'm like you? Flirting everywhere and looking for beauties everywhere. That. Actually. Yang Ming thought, Chen Mengyan still has resentment in her heart. Don't say this and that. Let me tell you, Yang Ming. If you dare to do this in the future, I will never talk to you again. Chen Mengyan said fiercely. Then Lan Ling. Yang Ming was delighted. Did Chen Mengyan accept Lan Ling? Don't mention her in front of me in the future. Chen Mengyan's face immediately turned cold. Oh, I got it. Yang Ming nodded awkwardly. But at least there was some progress, right? At least Chen Mengyan should have forgiven me, but she couldn't accept Lan Ling all of a sudden. Anyway, there was still a long time. I'll talk about it later. The reason why Chen Mengyan forgave Yang Ming was actually for a reason. She couldn't bear to part with Yang Ming, but the most important factor was that Lan Ling wasn't by Yang Ming's side now, so Chen Mengyan could reluctantly accept this fact. As for that Lin Jiyun, there was no certainty. Whether Yang Ming could find her was still another matter. How would she know that Yang Ming had already contacted Lin Jiyun? Chapter 346. Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan came to the school cafeteria. Yang Ming first asked Chen Mengyan to reserve a seat, and then he went to order. Chen Mengyan's breakfast was very simple. It was generally porridge and pickles. Yang Ming had bought it many times before, so he knew without asking. Yang Ming ordered a tray of buns and then walked to Chen Mengyan's table. However, he saw a couple quarreling with Chen Mengyan. "There's someone next to me. He went to buy something and will be back soon," Chen Mengyan said with a frown. "Ha, you said there's someone." The man with glasses bared his teeth and said to Chen Mengyan, "If you say that the seats in the cafeteria are taken, does that mean that everyone has to go out for a picnic? Why are you so unreasonable? Look, there are already 2 sets of tableware here. Why do you still want to sit here?" Chen Mengyan was a little unhappy. This person's words were really unpleasant to hear. "Ha! Do you think this is a university study room? Take out a book and write the word seat. Let me tell you, this set is outdated." The man with glasses grinned without any demeanor. "Are you a freshman? Handsome, don't worry about her. She's not a good person at first glance. Who knows which lover she is going to reserve a seat for?" The coquettish woman next to the man with glasses said to the man with glasses. "Handsome? That's fucking disgusting. He looks more wretched than a mouse. How can this kind of person be called handsome?" Yang Ming wanted to vomit. "What are you talking about?" Chen Mengyan was not so easy to provoke. Seeing that the girl's words were so unpleasant, she couldn't help but retort. "Yo! You're still not willing." The coquettish woman glared and said, "Look at your appearance. It's obvious that you rely on men to eat." "Pa!" As soon as the coquettish woman finished speaking, a bowl of steaming white porridge fell from the sky and directly covered her head. The juice sprinkled her body, and the big rice grains flowed down her hair everywhere. "I think I should give you some food first," Yang Ming said lightly. Who dares to pour porridge on this old lady's head?" The coquettish woman blushed and turned around. She looked at Yang Ming, who had a smirk behind her. She pointed at him and said angrily, "What the fuck do you want to do? I'm giving you food." Yang Ming shrugged indifferently. "Why yeah, I will fight with you." The coquettish woman stretched out her hand to grab Yang Ming. "Go to one side." Yang Ming pushed her and directly pushed the coquettish woman. "Don't think that I won't dare to do anything to you because you're a woman. If you provoke me, I'll still beat you. Fuck your mother, this old lady will die with you." The coquettish woman picked up a broken bowl from the ground and rushed towards Yang Ming. "Do you have that function?" Yang Ming looked at the coquettish woman with some ridicule. He slapped the broken bowl in her hand and then said to the glasses man, "For eyes, you take care of your wife. Don't let her be like a mad dog. What's your name? Tell me your name." The glasses man was so angry that his chest rose and fell as he pointed at Yang Ming and said, "What, you still want to retaliate?" Yang Ming put the steamed buns on the table and said to Chen Mengyan, "You eat the steamed buns first. The porridge is wasted on the dog." "You motherfucker, who are you calling a dog?" The coquettish woman jumped up again. Li Longshui, he scolded me. I know, I won't let him go. The glasses man nodded and pointed at Yang Ming and said, Boy, if you have the guts, tell me what your name is. I don't have time to take care of you. Yang Ming said impatiently, Hurry up and leave. I don't want to beat you. Humph, you don't want to say it. Well, if you have the guts, sit here and don't move. After the glasses man finished, he took out his mobile phone and pretended to make a call. I won't move. If you want to find someone, hurry up. I have to go to class after eating, so I won't accompany you. Yang Ming said with a grin. You can, you have guts. The glasses man took the phone and flipped through the phone book. After looking for a long time, he didn't dial any number. Li Longshui, don't you know so many people in the underworld? Give them a call and kill this little bastard. The coquettish woman shouted loudly, attracting the attention of many people in the cafeteria. Am I not looking for it? There are too many. I don't know who to look for. The glasses man thought, I'm just bragging to you. How do I know so many people? Little girl, if you didn't advocate school violence so much, I wouldn't have bragged to you. I was just scaring the kid. I didn't expect him to not fall for it. Li Longshui, hurry up. Did you find it? The coquettish woman said impatiently, there are so many people. Wouldn't you scare him to death just by looking for one? Oh, okay, I'll just find one. Li Longshui was helpless. He had to find the contact information of a gangster boss that a former classmate gave him. It was said that this person was very good in the underworld. His classmate was one of his underlings. Let's pretend to be badass first. Li Longshui dialed the gangster boss's contact information. Hello, please help me pass on 8138-607. Just say that Li Dagong's buddy was kicked. Please call back to 139. What? It was shut down 4 years ago. Li Longshui hung up the phone with a depressed face. Now, there weren't many people who used pagers. It was common sense for it to be shut down. The fact that the paging tower still existed was already a very surprising thing. What's wrong? There are so many people with cell phones. Why are you paging? The coquettish woman said with some displeasure, Don't you know Brother Dao and Brother Wolf? Li Longshui said, I can only contact such a person now. Fuck. Li Longshui, where did the people you told me before come from? Did you make it up? The coquettish woman frowned, Are you kidding me? No. Isn't this what you like? That's why I said that. Li Longshui didn't care about Yang Ming and the others. He braced himself and said, Damn. You're so fucking bad. I believed you. The coquettish woman rolled her eyes at Li Longshui and said with disdain, Look at you, you don't know anyone. Wife, don't be angry. I'll contact my junior high school classmate when I get back, okay? Li Longshui said with a smile. Don't call me wife, Li Longshui. We broke up. The coquettish woman said with a crooked mouth. Don't. I really like you. Don't worry. My friend is said to be doing very well. I'll find him. He'll definitely be able to deal with this little tramp. Li Longshui promised. Humph. Nothing. The coquettish woman snorted, Watch me. She took out her cell phone. Hello, Sister Yao. I'm Xiaolu. I was bullied in the cafeteria. Can you bring someone over? The coquettish woman said, N. Okay, I'll wait for you here. Sister Yao. Damn, you're looking for a lady. Yang Ming said curiously. You actually dare to say that to Sister Yao? You're useless. Her boyfriend can kill you. Do you believe it? The coquettish woman snorted and said, if you have the ability, stay here and don't move. That's fine too. I'm not full yet. You can buy me a tray of buns. I'll sit here and eat for a while. Yang Ming said, but you don't seem to have this intention. Alright, I'm leaving. You fucking dare to leave. The coquettish woman was anxious. You can try to leave. If you leave, don't think about mingling in this school. What kind of quality do you have? I really doubt how you were admitted to university. Yang Ming glanced at the coquettish woman and said, you were born as a lady, right? Jing Xiaolu is an art student. Li Longshui quickly explained. Shut up. No one will treat you as a mute if you don't talk. The coquettish woman looked at Li Longshui with some dissatisfaction. Now she felt that this boyfriend was so stupid. Hee, for eyes, you want this kind of goods. Yang Ming sighed regretfully at the glasses man. Bro, take care. I'm leaving. You stop. Jing Xiaolu was anxious. She pointed at Li Longshui and said, you go and buy him a tray of buns. Let him sit here for a while. Okay, I'll go now. Li Longshui nodded and agreed without thinking. Yang Ming shook his head. For a man to be able to do this, it's really good enough. Yang Ming, forget it. Don't lower yourself to their level. You are also in the wrong. Chen Mengyan said with some worry. It's okay. Someone is treating. It's a waste not to eat. Yang Ming smiled and said indifferently, who asked these two guys to deliberately scold you? It's right to punish them. AI, you like to cause trouble. I really don't know if it's good or bad. Chapter 347. Yang Ming didn't hold back. The bowl of porridge was wasted on this coquettish woman. It wasn't too much to ask her boyfriend to compensate with a steamer of buns, right? So, he picked up the chopsticks and ate. Chen Mengyan was really helpless with her boyfriend. Why is he so shameless? You can't really eat it even if others buy it for you. Mengyan, this bun is beef stuffing. I just bought pork and cabbage stuffing. The taste is different. Do you want to try? Yang Ming picked up a bun and put it on Chen Mengyan's plate. Chen Mengyan was helpless. She couldn't refuse, so she could only bow her head and eat. Jing Xiaolu's lungs were about to explode at the moment. In this world, there is actually such a shameless person. But you can be smug. When my people arrive, you won't even have time to cry. Jing Xiaolu thought resentfully. Gu Xinyao just received a phone call from a friend who always played with her. She said that she was bullied. Gu Xinyao was the kind of girl who liked to show off. When she heard that her friend was bullied, she naturally had to show it. So, she told Bai Hai about it. Bai Hai had just been promoted today. It was the moment when his self-confidence was extremely inflated. He also agreed with Gu Xinyao's statement. Otherwise, he wouldn't care about such a small matter with Gu Xinyao. He took a few underlings and went back to the university. In the blink of an eye, Bai Hai sat in the position of the boss of the Didi bar. His underlings didn't have a chance to flatter him. They finally had a chance to show off, so they followed Bai Hai to do things. So, a group of 7 or 8 people rushed directly to Songjiang Industry University. It was more magnificent than when they went to fight Yang Ming. Yang Ming finished a steamer of buns and burped. He glanced at Jing Xiaolu impatiently. Why haven't your people come yet? Did they encounter any accidents on the way? You actually dare to say this? You will die in a while. Jing Xiaolu glared and said fiercely. Yang Ming smacked his lips twice indifferently. If they don't come, I have to go. I don't have time to play games with you. Wait a little longer. It'll be done soon. Jing Xiaolu said anxiously. I say, little girl, your looks are not bad. Hurry up and find a good man to marry. Don't play the underworld here. I'm busy. I'll give you 1 more minute. Yang Ming said. In fact, this Jing Xiaolu wasn't considered ugly. It was just that her face was covered in heavy makeup, making it difficult to see the floor clearly. However, Yang Ming's eyesight was better, so he naturally saw it clearly. However, Yang Ming had no interest in this kind of flirtatious woman, so he didn't care much. Finally, Gu Xiniao and Bai Hai rushed over with a group of underlings with murderous intent. After Jing Xiaolu saw them, she almost cried. It's finally here. The time to be proud is not far away. Sister Yao, it's the 2 of them. These 2 adulterous couple bullied me. Jing Xiaolu pointed in the direction of Yang Ming and said to Gu Xiniao. And this is Brother Hai, my husband. He is now the boss of Didi Bar. Gu Xiniao naturally wanted to show off Bai Hai's promotion first. Oh, hello, Brother Hai. I'm Jing Xiaolu. I've heard a lot about you. Jing Xiaolu wanted to get closer, but her head and body were full of rice and soup. Her image was really not good. Bai Hai nodded slightly and asked, Who is it? Where are you? It's over there. Jing Xiaolu pointed to Yang Ming and said, I'm talking about you. Motherfucker, aren't you badass? You come here. See how I kill you. Yang Ming had already seen Bai Hai and Gu Xiniao who rushed over, so he was more fearless. He stretched lazily and said to Chen Mengyan, I'll accompany you to your class today. What time is it now? Are you still talking about this? Hurry up and think of a way to deal with it. They found so many people, can you beat them? Chen Mengyan said with some complaints, I just told you to leave, but you didn't listen. Now that they called people, can we leave? Of course, we can leave. Yang Ming nodded, then stood up and looked at Bai Hai. Bai Hai, why are you back? You brought people out to show off after you became the boss. Motherfucker, what is this kid talking about? One of Bai Hai's underlings jumped out and pointed at Yang Ming in order to show off in front of the new boss. The 2 underlings who came with Bai Hai to teach Yang Ming a lesson in the morning naturally knew the details of Yang Ming. At this moment, they quickly pulled the underling who ran out to stand up. The underling didn't realize it. He turned back and scolded, Why are you pulling my clothes? Seeing that I'm loyal to Brother Hai, are you jealous? This kind of person who doesn't know what's good for him is fine. The 2 underlings let go at the same time. Go and seek your own destruction. It has nothing to do with us. When Bai Hai heard this underling scolding Yang Ming, his face immediately turned green. He swung his arm with all his might and slapped the underling with a paw sound. The underling was seeing stars. Brother Hai, why did you hit me? The underling covered his face with his hand and looked at Bai Hai with a wronged face. He was at a loss. Why was it half a face? Because only half of the facial nerves could function, and the other half of the face had been beaten into a bun by Bai Hai, temporarily losing the function of expression. Bai Hai didn't have time to explain to him. He quickly walked over to Yang Ming. Brother Yang, I am okay, you don't have to explain. I know. Do more proper things in the future. Don't always come out to show off. Yang Ming shook his head faintly and said, I still have things to do. I won't waste time with you. Gu Xiniao was also very angry. She glared at Jing Xiaolu and said, Do you know who he is? He is the brother of Song Jiang's boss, Brother Bao. Even my husband has to be respectful to him. You even dare to provoke him. This. Jing Xiaolu wasn't stupid. Looking at Bai Hai's attitude just now, she knew that she had kicked an iron plate today. No wonder this person was so fearless before and didn't put her in his eyes. He was the brother of Song Jiang's boss. In Song Jiang, who could shake him? Jing Xiaolu gritted her teeth and said to Gu Xinyao, Sister Yao. I don't know. I'm sorry, forget it. Brother Yang is a very good person. You go and apologize to him. In front of Yang Ming, Gu Xinyao couldn't say much. Oh, I got it. Jing Xiaolu nodded and came to Yang Ming and whispered, Brother Yang, I'm sorry. Okay, do what you should do. Don't bother me. Yang Ming said impatiently. Jing Xiaolu stomped her foot. What's so great about him? Isn't he just a little badass? But it seems that he isn't just a little badass, but very badass. Yang Ming didn't know what Jing Xiaolu was thinking. He didn't care about what she was thinking. He took Chen Mingyan's hand and walked in the direction of the cafeteria door. Halfway through, he suddenly turned back and said to Li Longshui, who was standing in a daze, Thank you for the buns. The taste is good. Right, the number you just called is the one I used before. You can look for me directly in the future. You don't have to waste so much effort. Ah. Li Longshui's face was red. He was so ashamed that he almost couldn't show his face. So the person I was looking for is the person I want to teach a lesson to. After Yang Ming left, Bai Hai's face sank. He said with some blame, Gu Xinyao, what kind of friend do you know? Why don't you have any judgment? Brother Hai, you don't have to say it. Jing Xiaolu is my childhood friend. We have a good relationship. Gu Xinyao whispered. Forget it. Since Brother Yang doesn't pursue it, then I can't be nosy. Bai Hai frowned and looked at the girl named Jing Xiaolu. You have to be honest in the future. Otherwise, if something happens, Gu Xinyao and I can't protect you. Oh. Jing Xiaolu was too shocked today. She also changed the nature of the flirtatious girl just now. She nodded silently. Okay, Xiaolu. You should go back to the dormitory and take a shower. Look at you. Why are you covered in porridge? Gu Xinyao said with some blame. Although Gu Xinyao always liked to trick people, she was really good to Jing Xiaolu. Isn't it because of that Yang Ming? He splashed porridge on me. Jing Xiaolu was a little depressed when she thought of it. After Jing Xiaolu left, Bai Hai asked, Are you familiar with this Jing Xiaolu? Yeah, Brother Hai, don't be angry with her. In fact, Jing Xiaolu is also very pitiful. When she was very young, her parents divorced. She was left alone in her grandmother's house. Her grandmother raised her, so her character became like this. Gu Xinyao shook her head and said, It's not easy for her to learn to protect herself in society alone. If she wants to stand firm, she has to rely on some strong people. I have already told her that her boyfriend, Li Longshui, is not a good person. But she is also stupid. She was cheated by Li Longshui.